Get nasty on a Wednesday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. 2:02, your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Jamie Rivers out sick again today, so I don't think we'll see Jamie until Friday. Some interesting Blues news that just came out within the last couple of minutes. Brandon Saad and the Blues have mutually agreed to a contract termination. So his contract will be terminated after the Blues place him on unconditional waivers. And we're just talking to Alex Ferrario about this. So the Blues will put him on unconditional waivers, which means every team in the league has one more chance to put a waiver claim on him. And if he is not picked up, then the Blues and Saad agreed that the contract will be terminated. He will no longer be a Blue. Either way, he won't be a Blue anymore. He's also not going to go down to Springfield. So Brandon Saad, for all intents and purposes, is done as a St. Louis Blue. And I wonder, Carey, and again, I want to give full credit to Alex Ferrario on this because we were spitballing right before the show. But I do wonder if Saad got word either from his agent or something. It's probably his agent, his representative, that maybe a team was interested, but wasn't willing to put a waiver claim on him and pick him up at his price and therefore his cap hit. And therefore he agreed. Because why else would you agree to leave that much money on the table?
Yeah. $4.5 million for next year?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would probably not do that unless you had an opportunity to play somewhere this year. They void the entire contract. Another team picks you up. Whatever the remaining is, or the minimum, the veteran minimum that he would get for this year, with an opportunity to play well and maybe sign another contract in the offseason.
Yes.
So I guess that does make sense. You, again, probably wouldn't just discard $4.5 million if you had no other opportunities or options readily available to you. Mm-hmm. And, you know, a player that has played as long as he has, who probably doesn't want to be in Springfield, doesn't want to be considered a minor league player. Like, he's a professional player. He's an NHL player.
Yeah, he's had a really good career.
And done a great job. So to be sitting down, there's a level of kind of embarrassment associated with that. You're a guy that has done such great things at this level, and now you're playing at that level. He's kind of, it's not something I want to do for my career. Just let me go completely, and I'll figure it out.
So Elliot Friedman, who covers all things NHL, he was the first to hear that Brandon Saad and the Blues were working on a mutually agreed contract termination. Saad will walk away from his remaining salary this season, as well as the $3.63 million in cash next year. He wants to play in the NHL. Both the player and the Blues, so both Saad and the Blues, felt this gave him the best opportunity to do so. Next year's salary cap, or actually next year's salary and cap hit of $4.5 million was a big hurdle of other teams. Now we're getting questions about the salary cap hit. The Blues were set to receive some salary cap relief by sending him to Springfield. The salary cap relief this year was going to be $1.15 million. I don't want to start speaking about the cap for this year and next year without fully knowing. So we'll reach out to our guy Jeremy Rutherford on this. We'll get you an answer about the salary cap. I don't know, but I'll find the answer out. I don't want to start spewing stuff like I know what I'm talking about, the cap hit and all that stuff, without officially knowing. But again, if you're just joining us, Brandon Saad and the Blues, and this has been since tweeted out by the Blues, so it is official now. Brandon Saad will be placed on unconditional waivers Thursday, for the purpose of contract termination. So he'll go through waivers one more time. It's likely that he won't be picked up, and then his contract is done. I would imagine, Carey, that if the contract is terminated, the salary and the cap hit for next year are done.
Go away.
I would imagine that.
If both sides agree to it.
Yeah.
And which is what they're saying both sides have agreed to. And I would assume that that's the case as well. And, you know, good for the Blues. They needed to get the contract off, and they didn't think he was playing particularly well. Good for him, because he said, yeah, okay, I'll walk away from this guaranteed money that I could have next year for an opportunity potentially to go somewhere else and play this year with the opportunity to hopefully play again next year somewhere else.
So this is from Puckpedia that was just posted on X, and our guy Jeremy Rutherford, he reposted it. It says, if Saad mutually terminates his contract, he loses the $5.425 million cash owing to him. The Blues will save his full $4.5 million cap hit instead of just $1.15 million if he was in the minors. With no other roster moves, they would finish $670,000 below the cap, absorbing a portion of Suter's $1.125 million to $2.225 million performance bonuses this year. The excess is a carryover cap hit next year.
Okay, so there is some access cap hit. Is that what you just said? There's some access cap hit?
But I think it has to do with
not access.
Excess.
Yeah.
Excess.
Excess.
With an EX.
Excess
Like
cap
extra?
hit, not access.
Which
We're
is
not.
like-
Can you use
We want
that in
this.
a
We want to
sentence?
assess. We want to.
That's a different word too.
Yeah.
Assess, access, and excess.
We want to
Assess
this information that's coming out.
to see if there's an excessive or an excess
Of cap.
Of cap.
Yeah. Either way, this is I think this is good for the Blues.
Yeah.
This is huge for the Blues because really it's Doug Armstrong saying to Brandon Saad, hey, will you waive your no-trade clause so I can trade you? Brandon Saad says, yes, sir, no problem. And Doug Armstrong decided to make Brandon Saad available. The compensation wasn't there. He's now got to go to Brandon Saad and say, hey, Sauter, I can't move you. Appreciate you, big guy. Thank you for waiving your no-trade clause, but I can't move you right now. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to waive you, and then I'm going to send you down to the minors. And it's a bit of a chicken or the egg situation, like Carey just described, with an athlete not wanting to go down to the minors.
Yeah.
Especially if you're Brandon Saad. And while Brandon Saad's no Hall of Famer, Brandon Saad's had a nice career. This is a veteran player.
Cup winner.
Prideful guy, all that. So what essentially Doug Armstrong's doing, in my opinion, is he rolls the dice that Saad won't want to go down to the minors. So he waits, waiver process happens, and then he goes back to Saad. Hey, Sauter, nobody picked you up. You're going to go down to Springfield now. Or maybe we mutually agree that we terminate the rest of your contract. You become a free agent, you'll be set to go.
This is something that Jamie brought up at the beginning of the season,
Yes, he
actually
did.
last offseason. But it wasn't about Brandon Saad. Maybe it was about a different player.
I think it was about Torrey Krug, if I'm remembering
I
correctly.
think so. And now things played out the way it did with Torrey Krug, and he's on LTIR, and,
Yeah.
we hope for a speedy recovery. But I didn't think it would come at this point. And once things happened we got into the season, I didn't really expect any of this to happen. But now that it's brought up, it got me thinking, oh, my goodness, Jamie said this earlier in the year.
Yeah.
And now it's happening, and it's a smart move.
And yet another cutthroat move by Doug Armstrong, who at one point said that he would trade his own mother if, the deal was right. So,
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
yeah. So excellent for this is good news for the Blues in terms of moving forward here. What do you guys feel overall about the Brandon Saad, and I'll put it in quotes, era for the Blues? Fast lane fine?
That's fine.
Yeah. Not a fast lane fine. One terrible, one great. I don't think the Blues maxed out that contract. I don't think they got the full potential out of Saad for that contract. It also didn't kill him.
Yeah, I mean, he was a 20-goal scorer, pro,
Yeah.
consistent, and this was the year that he wasn't. And the Blues are in a spot right now in this retool where they need to make decisions, and if he's not a part of that, then you got to quickly remove that person.
Sure.
And I wouldn't be shocked if, not saying this is going to happen to another player, but I think with what we're seeing now, a lot of answers to some questions, or we're getting a lot of answers to some of the questions that we've had heading into the season, and we'll see if Doug Armstrong essentially does something with that heading into the second half of the season after the Four Nations, or even into the offseason.
Yeah. All right. If you want to Join us today. You can. Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Again, the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. The Snake Pit, which is our YouTube channel via the Air Alliance Team studio cams, is active. We're already seeing plenty of discussion going on now with Brandon Saad. You can always join the Snake Pit or, hey, leave us a Scott Lee Heating Company mic drop via the 101 ESPN Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers app. Anything we're talking about today, great. Chime on in. We appreciate you. Jim Montgomery will join us at 4:15, so we'll have our weekly chat with the head coach. Monty will join us 4:15. Certainly ask him about Brandon Saad and just kind of his overall feel right now for the team. You okay, Carey? Can't read it.
Mm-hmm.
You can? You can?
Yeah. Says from the 217, Anthony, just wanted to tell you, you mismanaged that clock worse than Brandon Staley yesterday at the end of the show.
I did. Yeah. I appreciate you waiting a full 24 hours to bring it back up. No, I did. Horrendous.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we had, I think that was probably the quickest last segment.
Yeah.
That was like 30 seconds.
If that.
I hacked that up. Yeah, I hacked up the
hilarious.
clock. Yep, my bad on that.
It's life.
Yeah, good call out. All right, Carey, Marshy, Anthony, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Who's the one Cardinal you need answers from? So if you have a whole bunch of questions about a certain player, a certain Cardinal, who's the one Cardinal that you need answers from this season? And there's several different options here, but who's the one that you're like, yeah, I need to see what this player is right now for the present and the future? Leave us the Scott Lee Heating Company mic drop app, or mic drop via the 101 app. Would love to hear your thought on this. Who's the one Cardinals player you need answers from this season? Again, we'll take your mic drops, and we'll tell you who's our player next on 101 ESPN. I was just telling Marsh and Carey before the show that it's time to ramp up the workouts big time. You know, you get inconsistent over the holiday seasons. In January, you know, the month starts off, and maybe you start off with a bang, but you're like, nah, I want to become more consistent. If you're low on energy, you might be dealing with low testosterone. If you don't have that same mental edge, that focus, the drive isn't what it used to be, and whether it's getting back to the gym, getting in better shape, being healthier overall, whatever it may be, if you're lacking in that, you got to go see my friends at Mentality. Mentality is the perfect spot to go and talk to their board-certified physicians about low testosterone. And it affects all guys. I went through it. Jamie went through it. You've heard Jamie and I talk about it because we've been on Mentality's program for over a year now. The fatigue and the low energy goes away. The weight gain controlled. The muscle gain comes back. Everything is out there in front of you guys if you do something about it. But if you don't, and you're feeling as though like, it's just old age, and you just say, chalk it up to that and that's it, you're not going to experience what it's like to feel like you're young again. So go see my friends at Mentality. 2 different locations, one in South County, one in Chesterfield. When you visit Mentality today at lowtusa.com, again, that's lowtusa.com, that's your first step in reclaiming the old you, which is essentially the new you. Mentality. Davis and Andrew Marsham, Anthony Stalter, it's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Who is the one Cardinals player you need answers from this season? There's a bunch of different ways that we can go with this. We want to hear from you. So, again, feel free to pick up the 101 app via the Dobbs Tire. It's the Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 app. And leave us a Scott Lee Heating Company mic drop on this. But who's the one player you need answers from? The one player that maybe you've had questions about over the years, or maybe they've ramped up recently. The one player you want answers from for the Cardinals in this upcoming 2025 season. We'll let the mic drops kind of roll in, and we'll talk about this topic ourselves. So, Carey, who's the one player that you have circled?
Jordan Walker. Sorry, I didn't let you finish.
Well, no, I mean,
it's
makes sense.
No, I mean, he's been the one that has been talked about the most, in my opinion, the one of the younger players that you have such high hopes for, and came up his rookie year, had a 12-game hitting streak. A lot of them were on the ground. But he was hitting the ball. I think that's kind of the point, Anthony.
To get hits. Yes.
I think that matters. I don't give a damn if it goes out of the infield. I don't give a damn if it goes out into the gaps in right center or left center. Do you hit the ball?
Yeah.
Does you get on base?
Yeah.
On base percentage high?
During that time, yeah.
Give you a chance to score a run?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do that. So, for me, it's him. Watching his maturation at the plate, obviously the development in the outfield getting better, but just I'm interested to see how well he performs going into his third season.
Marsh?
I think for me it's Ivan Herrera, and I saw something yesterday that really piqued my interest. And MLB came out with a list of players that they expect to have breakout years, and Ivan Herrera is on that list. And I was like, oh man, like this is interesting because I don't know how much he's going to play this year. Mm-hmm. Like I don't know what the plan is for him, because you have Pedro Pages as well. And what does that playing time look like? We've had discussions before with Ivan Herrera and his ability to throw runners out. So are the Cardinals, if he, displays that he can't do that, are they just not going to play him? Is he going to be a DH? I think his bat plays, though. Like, this guy can really swing the bat.
Yeah.
So I hope he gets an extended look, because I really do believe that he could have a breakout year like MLB.com said. So that's the one player that I'm looking at.
He's a really good hitter. I have questions about his defense, but
yeah.
Hey, he's a young player. Maybe he can develop in that area, and he can go from liability defensively to below average to average. He just grows. I mean, this is who's to say that a player can't get better throughout the course of a season, especially given the opportunity to. And it looks like he will get the opportunities, because Wilson Contreras is moving to first base. Yes, Carey, you had your hand up.
You said he can go to below average.
Yeah.
To average. So you think he's below average?
I think right now, over the course of, let's just say, half a season of games, because if you're going to split time between Pages and Ivan Herrera, if he's going to play half a season behind the dish, yes, I think Ivan Herrera is a liability.
All right.
Over the course of 10 games or something, no. Half a season, yes. That's my opinion. What do I know?
Well, that's why they have the offseason, Anthony. They work on things like that.
Sure.
That's
and
what
again,
training is for.
I'm leaving it open to the possibility that the kid makes big time leaps in his defensive prowess.
In fairness, you can only go up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you agree with me.
But it was just he can get to below average was the part that struck me like, oh, goodness.
Yeah.
How bad do you have to be to get better and be below average?
I think there's a jump. I think there's a bit of a jump. Kid can hit.
He can hit.
There's no doubt about that, but I do think he's got a ways to go when it comes to his defense. Specifically being able to hold runners on with the pitching staff, because in order to hold runners on and control the stolen base game, it takes the pitcher, it takes the first baseman, it takes the catcher. It's not just the catcher. A lot of times the catcher is the last line of defense when Ellie De La Cruz is already standing at third base by the time he gets the damn ball.
Are we under the assumption that Herrera is the number one catcher and Pages is too?
No, I think Pages is number one.
You think Pages is number one?
I think so.
I don't know.
Maybe not.
To me, Herrera's bat plays.
I think that's why.
I don't care how you get him in the lineup. Like, his bat needs to play. Like, that's just my opinion. I don't know if, though, you can go from, like you said, below average to average in one offseason, like, or to be even, like, good. Like, how long does that take?
Yeah. And
if it takes a little bit of time, could the Cardinals move away from him? Being like, this guy, he just doesn't have it behind the dish.
Yeah.
You know, can he be our long-term catcher? If not, let's move on from him because his bat does play. Maybe we can get something from him.
Sure.
I hope they don't move on quickly if that is the case.
Mm-hmm. But you can't be a liability in the field.
That's true.
Well, let me state this. If you have multiple liabilities, you got a problem. If you have one liability, you can tend to hide those players. They ain't a catcher, though.
Right.
It could be in left field. It can't be.
Right field?
You can't have a liability in right and a liability at first and a liability at catcher and consider yourself a major league team that plans on winning 83 games again. Like that, you got issues. The player for me, and I would love to choose a pitcher, but I don't know if the Cardinals are serious about turning the staff over to a couple of young pitchers. It certainly doesn't look like it. Because right now, I think the projected starters, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, Sonny Gray, Eric Fetty, Miles Michaelis, Andre Palante, and Steven Matz. Would that be my starting rotation? No. I would turn it over to some of these young guys. Gordon Graceffa will get a shot. You know, whoever the next guy is, give a shot. I would not roll with Michaelis and Steven Matz in the rotation. I also don't think it's a plan to say, well, somebody's going to get hurt. We'll be all right. I don't think that's a plan. But go ahead.
I think the plan should be you go into spring training and let it play itself out. You go in there with those 5 guys as your starters, and if somebody blows you away, Steven Matz, if you didn't perform particularly well in spring training, we know you have experience in the bullpen. There you go. Miles Michaelis, you didn't have a particularly good outing. You didn't have particularly good outings during spring training. Bullpen it is. I think that should be, because you have to give people, credit when they perform well. Right? You have to reward them when they are doing the things that you ask them to do, because if you don't, you set yourself up for failure for the entire team. Like, it doesn't matter how good I play because he's balling. He's playing his butt off, and he's not even going to get an opportunity. He's going down to Memphis.
Yeah.
So I think you should go in there with your 5 starters in mind. And if somebody blows you away with how well they're performing, then they can step into one of those roles.
So since I would love to take a starter here, but since the starting rotation is those 5 guys as of right now, I'll circle Lars Nootbaar.
It's a good one.
Like, are you, what are you?
Who are you? Where are we?
Are you somebody that can only play 100 or so games a year? If so, why are the Cardinals continuing to look at him as he's some sort of guaranteed regular? Jordan Walker, Carey, yeah, excellent choice. He's probably first on for most of us. Maybe Alec Burleson, you say, hey, can you do it again? But I think there's a lot more questions surrounding Lars Nootbaar. This is somebody that at one point I feel like the Cardinals had high hopes of being like, a 2-hitter. Somebody that can play every day, give you well above average defense. He had that really great second half the one year, and then it's just been a series of what ifs with him because of the injuries.
What's the difference between Newt and Tyler O'Neill in terms of health?
Not much. And it's funny, too, you just asked that. Waterboy said the same thing. Is he another Tyler O'Neill? So you guys are on the same page?
Tyler O'Neill was probably better.
Well, he had more power.
I think Tyler O'Neill's upside was better than what Lars's is.
Yeah, he had more power, more speed. Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah. Better
Except
field.
for running around third base.
Well, he was running. Ish. Kind of. Sort of.
Didn't want to get hurt.
Yeah. Again. Pull a hamstring. It's early in the season. You don't want to pop that thing.
So at some point you may have to say, you know what? You are who you are. You're injury prone. We've got to find more consistency in our lineup. So I think Lars Nootbaar, there's plenty of question marks there too. Again, send us a mic drop if you've got a player that you want to highlight, whether it's somebody that we already discussed or somebody else that you have circled. Great. We'd love to hear from you. Again, the 101 app, the Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 app, Scott Lee Heating Company mic drop. Leave us a mic drop. Tell us who's the one Cardinal player you need answers from this season. Several different choices. We only touched upon a couple of them, so keep those mic drops coming in. What's trending is next in the Fast Lane.
Hey, it's Super Bowl champ Carey Davis, and if you need any car needs done, you need to know about my good friends over at All Things Appearance. They can get you a free estimate as soon as you call this number, 636-248-5051, or visit them online at allthingsappearance.com. They can handle detailing, standard maintenance, ceramic coating, paint, dent repair, collision repair, you name it, they can do it. Even if you had hail damage from earlier this year or earlier last year, they can help you with that. There are still people trying to get hail damage. They can work with your warranty company, with your insurance company, and make sure you get the best price possible. Jeff, their owner, wants to get customers on the road as soon as possible. And that number that I gave you, it's not just a number to the business. That's his actual cell phone number. You can call him anytime, day or night, on the weekends. Most companies don't answer on the weekends. Most companies can't get you in on the weekends. Jeff will be able to answer that phone call, get you in and get you out as soon as possible. If you need towing, if you need if you need pickup or drop off, they are able to do that as well. So give them a call today, 636-248-5051, or visit them online at allthingsappearance.com.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Earlier today, the Blues announced that Brandon Saad will be placed on unconditional waivers on Thursday for the purpose of contract termination. We talked about that at the beginning of the show. If you missed that conversation, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. Speaking of interviews, we'll talk with Blues head coach Jim Montgomery at 4:15. So stay tuned for that. The Blues will take on the Colorado Avalanche on Friday, and you can listen to that one right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 7. Puck drop is at 8. We have What's Trending coming up next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Topics in the sports world.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending, brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, how was your night last night?
It was solid.
Solid?
Yeah.
Anthony, were you in attendance at the SLU game? Because I know that you have been to some basketball games in your life before that have involved brawls in the stands.
Very true. Yeah, one infamous situation at a place that no longer exists now in Detroit, but or in Auburn Hills, I should say. But no, I've got an alibi. I was not at the SLU men's basketball game last night against VCU. I was walking around our fantastic neighborhood, talking with our fantastic neighbors about some Girl Scout cookies. My daughter, Madeline, we went door to door last night, so I was not at Chaffetz throwing haymakers. So, but what about you?
What was I doing?
Yeah.
Were you there?
I was not there. No, I was not. But I did hear about it. And I saw the video. There's some fans booing. There was about a dozen fans that broke out in a brawl, I guess you would call it. There was about 110 remaining in the game, and SLU was beating VCU 69-63, and then all of a sudden, there's a fight.
Do we know what the fight was about?
I don't know. I haven't seen the reports about why the fart, but the fart. Maybe it was. Maybe somebody farted next to him.
What are you doing?
Yeah, why the fight broke out. No idea. Yeah.
That's interesting. I wonder if it was like VCU fans versus SLU fans, if it was SLU fans versus SLU fans, VCU versus VCU. In those stands, and I don't know if that's like the family section, because one thing I've learned coaching, and I would always have parent meetings with my parents and say, hey, when you're in the stands, you might not want to say the line isn't blocking because the lineman's mom is sitting right there.
Yeah.
The quarterback can't throw the ball. The quarterback's father is sitting right there.
Sure.
Be respectful
He's trying his best.
The children, the young men that are playing.
Yeah.
They're doing their best. But if you aren't, you could be talking about somebody's child. And
if you're talking about somebody's child, you might get decked.
You might get decked. I don't know if that's the case in this situation, but, sometimes sporting events, the passion and the emotion kind of spills over and people just kind of lose it.
Yeah.
Be careful out there. Don't get angry.
I wonder if somebody had a GoPro on them like that Packers fan did in Philly.
Oh.
That was bad.
That was real bad.
Yeah. You're an idiot to that.
Is that the one when the guy got fired from his job
he
and
did
all
end up
that?
getting fired.
Yeah, I think you did too.
Like, you disrespect people.
Come on, man.
Just because. But see, well, never mind. Because I'm thankful I'm never in those situations.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Because
I feel like you wouldn't say anything. You would just pop somebody in the face.
I would punch him in the mouth.
And then you wouldn't have to talk to him because he'd be knocked out.
Yeah, because who are you talking to?
I don't feel like.
I don't like bullies.
Like who? No, I'm with you on
I
that.
don't like bullies at all.
I don't feel like you get a lot of people chirping you, though, CD. Something tells me.
I don't. I don't.
Something tells me
I
nobody's.
just mind my business and people mind theirs, and life is good.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, stay safe out there. Especially if it's Chaffetz.
Oh, yeah.
Women's basketball today. So let's just, let's
Dial it down a little bit.
dial it down.
Haymakers.
Yeah.
Speaking of women's basketball, Caitlin Clark of the Indiana Fever wants her first three-point contest to come. No, what?
Sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but maybe we got some insight here.
Oh.
Tim from the Snake Pit says it had to do with fans heckling a former SLU player on VCU. That player's family was in the crowd and popped off.
Oh.
Yep. Told you. Like that. It leave people's children alone.
Mm-hmm. John, we're getting John confirming this as well in the Snake Pit. So, yeah. John says SLU fans were heckling the Russell kid's family from VCU. STL kid.
Oh, we got to be better than that.
Come on now.
Leave people alone, man.
What are we doing?
Like, you just, I just said it. You in the family. I mean, that looked like the family section. That's low enough.
Right.
Like, leave people's children alone.
Keep my kids out your mouth.
I heard that. There's a wife, and then he slapped the guy. That was.
And then he
it was
just
the,
went back and sat down and had a great time the rest of the show.
And then got an award later.
Did you see? Have you ever seen Chappelle's stand-up on that?
Yeah. I think
He's talking about being, he's like, he got slapped. He didn't love that. He goes, but I really didn't like how I just went back and enjoyed the rest of the show. Go ahead, Marsh. I'm sorry.
As I was saying, Caitlin Clark of the Indiana Fever wants her first three-point contest to come at the WNBA All-Star Weekend in Indianapolis and will not participate in a special challenge during the NBA All-Star Weekend. We've seen that before where some WNBA stars will join the festivities. But do you think it's a good move out of Caitlin Clark? Like, I feel like this would promote the WNBA a little bit, and obviously people like watching her play.
Marcia, nobody's watching NBA All-Star Weekend anymore.
All right, never mind.
I don't. I'm being honest. It's I don't even know who the dunk contest participants are. I know Mack McClung is in it. I don't think he's in the NBA though, which is odd for a non-NBA player who's won it once or twice to be in the dunk contest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody wants to participate in it. The highlight is the three-point contest, which I guess would be the thing she would be participating in.
Yeah.
But I think Sabrina Ionescu did it last year against Steph Curry. He beat her, but it was a good thing to see. But if she wants to wait, I'm fine with that. I think it's much ado about nothing.
Yeah. At this point, you have to drum up some ideas and show people some things that have never really been, like you haven't seen before. But you also run the risk of that becoming a spectacle. For example, like if you run a contest and you have 5 NBA fans have an opportunity to challenge somebody in like a 3-point contest or something like that. We haven't seen that before.
That'd be cool.
But when
You don't want to see that.
but maybe it becomes a circus, and
Maybe.
it becomes a little bit of a gimmick.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying I think all of these NBA, All-Star, NFL Pro Bowl, you got to do something that people really haven't seen before, but I don't know. I don't know what saves it.
I think if you have the fan shoot on a normal hoop, and then you have the NBA player shoot on a hoop that is similar to what I would shoot on at Six Flags. It just seemed like those hoops just weren't.
The smaller rim.
Yeah, like, what was
the circumference.
Right.
It just
It just
smaller.
so happened it wouldn't go in, you know?
Right.
And it's not because I'm bad, which I am, but like at that time though, I was actually
You were hooping all the time.
I was hooping. I had a hoop in my backyard in the little, driveway area.
So what you're saying is you were on top of your game.
Top of my game.
And that
when I
ball
was
just
12 years
wasn't
old. It
going
wasn't going in.
Yeah, it's rigged.
I think it is.
I don't,
One of the big
those-
stuffed animal.
Those rims are a little bit tighter than the rims that you shoot at, at a gym, at your local gymnasium. And a little bit smaller, or the ball is just a little bit bigger. Something is off.
Yeah.
You have to be perfect to hit that shot. Just saying.
So the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, if you don't want more numbers that flat out support Mahomes versus the Eagles, Just skip the next segment. That's next on 101 ESPN. Cassin on 101 ESPN. Can the Eagles be perfect against the Chiefs knowing Patrick Mahomes' success against Vic Fangio? Vic Fangio is the Eagles' defensive coordinator, used to be the head coach of the Denver Broncos. Here's Mahomes' career versus Fangio's defense. Team points per game differential. Mahomes and the Chiefs, plus 15. Touchdown to turnover ratio, 11-3 in favor of the Tutties. Record for Patrick Mahomes versus Vic Fangio's defense. Carey, any guesses?
I saw it earlier.
8 Cobb, that's right.
Yeah, I saw it.
Patrick Mahomes 8, Vic Fangio goose egg. Now, Carey, I feel as though, and these stats according to First Things First on FS1, I feel as though right now as I read off these numbers, I'm getting a big I don't give a fast lane vibe from you. Yeah.
Do you ever get that from me? You get that feeling from me sometimes?
No doubt, yeah.
Huh.
Where do you think I picked it up from?
Oh, well, yeah. Okay.
Yeah?
So, you're right. I don't. Because I'm looking at these teams that, Vic had in the past, and I'm looking at, some of the defenses. We had some good guys, I'm sure, in Denver. Right, those some good players.
Absolutely.
He didn't have Jalen Carter.
No.
He didn't have, Darius Slay or Mitchell or, any of these corners that the Philadelphia Eagles have. Mm-hmm. But I could have just stopped with Jalen Carter because you don't have him. That guy is a difference maker. Mm-hmm. And I think that, this is why I don't always pay attention to numbers because you can twist and turn a number any way you want to fit your narrative and make it feel like, they're going to blow the Eagles out. Nah.
But nobody's saying blowout.
Your 15 points is a blowout. You said that's the differential.
Right.
That's 2 touchdowns.
But 8-0, I mean, come on.
Nah. Who was Vic Fangio's quarterback in those Denver days?
Peyton Manning?
Not gonna be Peyton.
I don't know who was the Broncos quarterback.
Pretty sure
before
it was
Peyton?
what's the guy's name? What's his name? Drew Lock.
No,
he had to be one of them.
No, Drew.
Probably Brock Osweiler.
No, this was 19, 20, and 21.
Oh,
19 and okay, yeah. So
was it Joe Flacco?
Oh, it might have been Joe. Weren't they a playoff
for
team?
the Broncos?
He was with the Broncos.
Nah.
Let's see here. The quarterback for the Denver Broncos in 2019 was Joe Flacco.
Boom!
You know everything.
He had 8 games that he started. He was 2-6.
Drew Lock was also there.
Drew Lock took over. He went 4-1.
There you go.
You know everything, Carey.
Yep, I gotta know a few things. So Drew Lock ain't Jalen Hurts.
No, he's not.
Neither is Jeff Driscoll.
No.
So for me, those numbers don't really move me in a way that it may move some other people.
What about Miami? Is this, also this has got to be a part of that conversation too.
Miami's defense, I would have to believe that Miami had about the same.
But they had the quarterback, right? They got the quarterback. They got the wide receivers.
With 2, yeah. The offense was certainly better. All right, so I'm looking at these Broncos. I'm looking at the Broncos. They had Bradley Chubb. They had, Josie Jewell's, pretty good player. Kareem Jackson had a decent stretch there.
Get me to the part where they got a player better than Jalen Carter.
Well,
or as corner.
Listen, they don't have. They did not have.
It matters.
Jalen Carter.
It matters. Yeah,
so does
Patrick Surtain. There you go. He's a good
there
player.
you go.
He's a very good player. I like him. They had a good secondary. They had a decent secondary. Kareem Jackson.
He's coming around, folks.
Justin
coming around.
Simmons was there.
Yeah.
But I don't think it matters. This is a different team, different situation. And I don't think that Patrick Mahomes. Now, there is what you can take away from that is when you play a team or play a coordinator multiple times, you know what they like to do on defense. You know who they are. Just like people should know what Spags is based off of his reputation. He's going to bring pressure in third down, fourth down, critical moments. You don't know that you're just sleepwalking and you should figure out something else to do with your life. But that's what's going to happen.
Damn.
Nah, I'm just saying. I watched that Buffalo play time. You know how frustrating. Can I go on this for a second?
Sure.
That last play that Buffalo had on offense, where the corner blitzed off the edge.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many people rushed the quarterback on that play?
2.
Nah, no. They got 5 offensive linemen. You know how many people they brought?
I think.
7?
You would think that, wouldn't you?
No, they didn't.
How many do you think?
I think 4.
5.
Okay.
You got 5 offensive linemen.
Yeah.
You bring 5 people. How many people should be blocked?
Well, 5 at least.
You good answer.
Man on man, but
Nope. It should be 5.
5 on 5.
You got 5?
I'm not saying they're going to block them well.
You got 5.
Yeah.
We should not have any pressure.
You shouldn't have 2 people in Josh Allen's face, is what you're saying.
You're damn right,
Yeah.
Anthony.
Yes.
The damn right guard looking left is 2 people coming to the right. They didn't slide the line. They got a left guard that's blocking air. The center and the right guard are blocking one person. The tackles are blocking their guys.
Mm-hmm.
And you got 3 people looking at one guy.
Right.
I think they showed that type of alignment or whatever earlier in the game, and they dropped back.
Yeah, that was.
But at that moment, though, you got to
Spags'
think.
curveball.
You got to think that they're probably going to show pressure here and bring the blitz.
Football is an
It's
easy
third
sport.
down, the fourth down, games on the line.
Football's an easy sport.
It didn't help that outside of Shakir motioning into the backfield, there was no running back to pick up anybody.
You didn't need them. You got 5 for 5. And
But
you got to know.
John points out too. I mean, if there's a corner, for an offensive lineman to slide that far out.
He didn't have to slide far. He was right there, right off the edge.
The corner was.
Yeah, and he came inside of the tackle, which means he ran right into the right guard if the right guard had been looking to the right. So it's on Josh Allen.
Okay. Well, this is why the Bills
Are watching football this weekend.
So what you just explained kind of negates a lot of the narrative that we see constantly, which is that the Chiefs benefit from the refs constantly.
But you know, Anthony,
you just illustrated a football play, and the Bills didn't execute properly. This is the same team that had Ty Johnson in instead of James Cook, who was gouging the Chiefs in the second half.
You know what though,
Bad
Anthony?
ball.
The Eagles will. They'll find that. They'll find that hole in Spags' defense.
Yeah, they will.
According
Darn
to
right
Carey,
they will.
they'll slide over. They'll protect Jalen Hurts.
Darn right.
Yep.
They will. They better. They want to win.
How confident are you the Eagles are going to win?
Barry?
So confidence 1 to 10.
9.
9 that the Eagles are going to win against Mahomes.
Yep.
Who in situations where a team either needs a field goal or a touchdown to win in the Super Bowl, or I'm sorry, in the playoffs, he's a perfect 7 for 7.
You know what Buffalo
with
did?
Under a minute.
You know what Buffalo did the first time they played them and they won?
What'd they do?
They
Play
scored.
him in Buffalo.
No, they played him in Buffalo, but they scored the Josh Allen touchdown when they were up, and then allowed them to go up by more. That's the recipe. If Josh Allen
You have to have
picks
the
up,
ball last?
no, you don't have to have the ball last. You just got to be up by 2 scores.
What if you have the ball with like 13 seconds left?
He's probably going to score.
I don't know.
This is the problem. You can't let him be within 1 score. You have to score on your possession. You got to score on your possessions and stop them on 2 possessions. That's it.
Hard to do,
It is.
especially against the champs.
It's not really as hard as one would think. If you damn block, and then John scores, so I think you better watch that highlight again, CD. Really? I think it was 5 people rushing, because math tells me there were 6 people in coverage. There's only 11 people on the field. That means 5 people were rushing. I know I got 5 offensive linemen. I had no back in the backfield, but I got 5. What that should have happened is, so let me give you real quick. Whenever there's somebody blitzing, there's usually a safety near the area from where that person is blitzing
to pick it up.
to pick up the receiver that is going to run free if that player blitzes. So if you got a tight end lined up and he looks like he's blitzing, okay, is the safety standing behind him? Is he rolling to him late? Because if he is, he's getting in coverage to make sure that that's not a dead area so that I can throw the ball there and we get a big gain. You look at that play, the safety is about 12 yards. He's stacked just a little bit inside. But also look at the corner. The corner's going to be giving it away because they don't blitz often. You know, they're
Right.
chomping at the bit because they're like, I get to go. So look at his eyes. Is he looking at you? If he's looking at you, he's probably coming. 5 guys blitzed, 5 guys rushed, 1 guy blitzed because you got 4 known rushers. 1 guy blitzed. You got the right guard looking left, the center blocking the nose, the left guard, I don't know what the hell he's doing, and your 2 tackles are blocking the end man. Mm-hmm. Pretty simple. All Josh Allen had to do was give it a righty call, which now takes the mic point to this guy. We know we got 4 guys and probably a linebacker or a safety or a corner blitzing. That's simple.
Do you think Patrick Mahomes would have made the right call there?
No question.
Do you know why?
Because legend never dies.
Carey, you might be an X's and O's guy. You might have won the Super Bowl and played in the NFL, but I'm a numbers guy when it's convenient. And as the designated home team, the Eagles, they chose midnight green to wear for the Super Bowl. That means the Chiefs are wearing white, and teams wearing white have won 16 of the last 20 Super Bowls.
That means they didn't win 4.
What do you think? Okay.
That's because the Chiefs won.
Red. Great point. It's Fast 901 ESPN. Are we seeing athletes have more power in sports than ever? Carey had a thought on this based on multiple different sports. We'll get into that conversation next on 101 ESPN. If you're in the market for a new car, you can head down to Auto Centers Nissan out in Herculaneum. Talk to my good friends out there, and you can peruse the over 700 vehicles that they have on the lot. My wife, Chris, and I have bought from Auto Centers Nissan before. We love the car buying experience. We got a pre-owned Pathfinder that we fell in love with, and we did it right there at Auto Centers Nissan. We actually started on AutoCentersNissan.com. I highly recommend you go to the website because you can peruse the vehicles, you can find the different price points, and then check out the features. But when you go down to Herculaneum and talk to Auto Centers Nissan, the sales staff there, you'll be blown away by the customer service that they offer. You can take the test drives, you feel comfortable, it's a fun environment where it's not pushy, and they have financing options for everyone. So they got great deals going on, especially with their new year, new key sales event. Heavily discounted prices on every vehicle in stock. You got new Nissans discounted up to $11,000 off. You got several brand new models priced under $30K. They got zero down and no payments for 3 months on select used vehicles. No payments for 6 months right now on select new Nissans. Again, financing options for everyone. They give you that 30-day return promise, as well as every 2025 Nissan model in stock coming with their free lifetime warranty and their 3 free oil changes. Again, check them out online at AutoCentersNissan.com. When you head down to Herculaneum, tell them Stalter sent you. It's Auto Centers Nissan. 305, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Our guy Carey Davis was texting the group chat today, and Carey, you had pointed out that you had wondered aloud whether or not athletes have more power than ever in sports. What drew you to that question?
Well, it started with Jimmy Butler. I don't know if you all been keeping up with that. Him deciding that he's
got a great attitude.
Oh, he's going to show up when he wants to. He demanded a trade. And we've seen this in the NBA for years. Like, I think we've seen the power shift towards players in the NBA for a long time. He's not playing. He's been suspended for a third time because he's like, I don't want to travel on a team plane. I don't want to show up when I'm supposed to. I'll be there when I'm there, and I'm going to play. And they're like, no, you're not. Yeah. But he wants to be traded. Mm-hmm. So then I started thinking about, what we've seen here in the last couple of years with Nolan Arenado refusing to be traded to a certain team. And then we saw the same thing with Torrey Krug last year. And I started thinking about NIL and players transferring and just the amount of freedom that I feel like players have at this point in sports is I can be where I want to be, and I can almost force my way into that position based on whether I'm good or not, or if the team is willing to deal with the things that I've done. And we've always, and I'm happy to see that, because for years, and I've said this for years, people get mad. Well, you signed the contract. You should own up to it. You should honor said contract. Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Brandon Saad signed the contract, didn't he? Mm-hmm. Does he have a contract now? What did the Blues do to him?
Mutually agreed upon contract termination.
What was his contract to play? For which team?
The Blues.
Okay. Where did they try to send him to play?
Springfield.
Yeah. So when the team wants to move on, not a problem. When the player wants to move on, then the player is looked at as, oh, you're a terrible person. You signed it. You're not honoring it. So for me, it can
go both ways, though.
It has.
Like when a player, how do I put this, sucks Ola and isn't worth the contract.
They usually get rid of him.
That player still gets paid.
They usually get rid of him.
If you have a bad year, I still got to pay you.
And then they'll get rid of you because you got 3 more years left.
Well, don't suck.
Well,
Carey, we've had this conversation.
And so if I play better than the contract, then pay me, because now I want to be paid.
Which is usually what the player does.
And this is where we are. So for me, just seeing, and I was wondering, I just asked, have we seen a shift based on all of the movement and how players are able to kind of get what they want out of their contract going forward? Where I think we haven't seen that as much in the past.
I think we've seen this shift in the NBA. I don't think there's any question about that. Oh, yeah. Not only in contract status, but who they want to play for and play with. Anthony Davis was a perfect example of this when he was in New Orleans and he wanted out. Yeah. He essentially held the team, hostage until he got out of there. The NBA is unlike, I think, any other sport from a power standpoint. I do like, if you just want to talk about the Jimmy Butler situation for a second here, I do like the way the Miami Heat and Pat Riley have played this.
Pat Riley's not budging.
Jimmy Butler is making this season almost $48.8 million.
Latrell Sprewell said he can't feed his family with that type of money. So
who?
Latrell Sprewell.
Same guy who choked the coach? Okay. That's more than Dame. That's more than Giannis. That's more than LeBron, Rudy Gobert, Anthony Davis, Trae Young.
So you're saying he's high.
Continue?
He's up there.
Next year, Jimmy Butler is set to make $52.4 million.
Yeah, I think he wanted a contract extension.
At 35 years old.
I mean, he's been to the NBA Finals, I think, 3 times there. 2 or 3 times.
He's been a great player for the Heat, which is why they're paying him $49 million this year and $52 next year. I don't feel bad for Jimmy Butler.
I don't feel bad for him either. But who
has run out? I mean, you want to go down the list with Chicago and Minnesota? I mean, he has worn out his welcome more times than not.
Yeah.
So I don't know. If you've got that power and you've got that leverage and you want to use it, that's up to you.
I do appreciate it. I think that we are, because especially with college, right? Jeremiah Smith, the receiver from Ohio State, wasn't in the transfer portal. There were conversations that he was being offered $4.5 million to leave. And so the power, to me, has shifted towards the players. That's usually teams calling the head coach, hey, we'll buy your contract out, come coach for us instead, and leave that school, and then you leave the players high and dry. So now you're having players say, well, I got an offer on the table.
Yeah.
And people that this is the part that drives me crazy, because you got a job. Mm-hmm. We all got jobs. If somebody comes in and offers you 3 times the amount you're making at your current job because they think you do a good job, you're going to say, well, nope, I signed this contract, damn it, I'm going to see it. Wait, how much? That's anyone. Your services are being paid for. People think you're good enough to do something at a higher pay rate. You're going to look at it and you're going to talk about it and you're going to think about it. And so for me, I just enjoy the fact that players are having this amount of power now, where normally it was on the other side. Coaches had all the power and you had to just sit there and deal with some things that maybe you normally wouldn't have.
Not just coaches, but to your point about about college football or college sports overall. How about the NCAA?
Yeah.
You couldn't sign an autograph and make money off of your autograph without being suspended for it, because the NCAA basically owns you.
But they could sell your jerseys without your name on it.
Yep, but your number, and everybody knows that's Carey Davis in the Fighting Fire Up Illini store, and they know it's Carey Davis. But you're not gonna make a dime off it, or the video game rights and all that. So. My question to you is, we saw eventually that the chickens came home to roost, right, for the NCAA. Maybe even in the NBA, we saw this. Will the pendulum swing back at some point where eventually players will start, maybe Jimmy Butler, start to overplay their hand? And there becomes a little bit, I'm not talking about a full swing back to like the NCAA and the coaches and the franchises having full power. But is there a happy medium here if again, players start to overplay their hand with power? Well,
Jimmy's contract is guaranteed. So I don't know how they get out of that. They've suspended him. They're obviously suspended him without pay.
They got to pay
for. Well,
I think they have to pay him, right?
I don't think if you're suspended for conduct detrimental to the team, I think they can withhold. I think they're able to withhold your pay for however many games you're suspended for. Not the entire season, but whatever you get paid per game or paid per month.
Yeah.
Every pay period, that they can withhold that. So I don't know that it's going to shift back or swing back, because, again, his contract is still guaranteed. Now, they'll try to – Ben Simmons didn't play basketball for a full year and a half.
Yeah.
He's just like, I don't feel like it.
And he hasn't played good basketball his whole career.
No.
And he's gotten paid a ton of money.
Yeah.
So I don't think
That's
in the NBA
fault.
– well, they had high hopes. Anthony?
They're drunk.
Maybe. I haven't found one of those people yet.
Yeah,
I've been looking for him. Hey, you drunk? You want to sign a contract? Sure.
Well, maybe it's not the power shifts. Maybe teams just are a little bit more cautious now. We're kind of seeing in baseball.
Where they're not.
Where it's
we saw it
you better
last
hope
year.
the Dodgers don't run out of roster space there, champ, because we're not paying you. Maybe it's a situation where teams are a little bit more cautious. They avoid those long. We saw it in baseball where these free agents become 30, 32, and baseball's got its own damn broken system with like how long you're in the minors and how long your arbitration, all that. Just push that aside. We saw this with free agency. Guys, 32. You're 32, you might as well be 82. We don't want you. You're not going to get paid.
Blake Snell and who was the other pitcher?
Jordan Montgomery.
Yeah, not signing until almost the season started.
Now Blake Snell got himself a big deal because of the Dodgers, but Jordan Montgomery didn't.
We do it right out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. It's a slippery slope.
I think some owners are just cheap.
Well, that's part of it, too.
Yeah.
You want to win, spend money. Anthony?
Well, let's spend money wisely. And if there's a guy that is out there that you think, or maybe you don't think, but that could ultimately help your team, yeah, he's a little bit older, but like find a role, right? I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. It all depends, right? If you're at the end of your career and somebody wants you for a year, you take that.
Like Kirby Yates. Everyone's like, whoa, the Dodgers got Kirby Yates. Dude, literally anybody in the league could have got him.
Right.
Could have had him.
Yep.
And he'll probably be fine for the Dodgers bullpen.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Kirby Yates with the Dodgers. I hear your point. This isn't I'm not reacting off of what you just said. It's like Yeah, you're right. Kirby Yates, anybody could have had him.
But it makes you wonder, if the Dodgers want him, there's a reason why they want him.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think that the other teams would want that guy? Because clearly the Dodgers see value in this guy.
Yeah, you would think so. Dodgers are also a bunch of scumbags. All right, it's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. That was in my head, right?
No, that was out loud.
I didn't hear what you said. What'd you say, Anthony?
I was going to tease Prove Me Wrong.
Oh, that's not what he said.
I was teasing that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Prove Me Wrong. It's a Fast Lane. I remember saying that. It's a Fast Lane. I said that out loud. The other thing I thought was in my head, probably. All right, Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. If you've got a Prove Me Wrong statement that you want Carey and I to prove wrong, or at least attempt to, send it in to the Air Comfort Service text line. Prove Me Wrong next.
Prove me wrong, kids. Prove me wrong.
All right, right, time to step into the honorable courtroom of Judge Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter, Carey Davis. This is Prove Me Wrong. This is where you send in a statement that you want Carey and I to at least attempt to prove wrong, and Marsh will either give us the buzzer or the ding. Carey and I want the ding.
I don't.
I'll give you the ding.
I'll pass on the
If you do a good job.
Thanks.
I'm okay.
Thanks, Marshy.
I'll pass.
Judge, what is our first case?
All right, from the 618, Prove Me Wrong for Anthony. The Dodgers are scumbags.
This is where I'd like to attempt to get a plea deal done. My client is clearly guilty, and
Wait,
I would like to work out some sort of deal.
I'll take this. He doesn't have to, Scumbags they are not.
No, it's fine. We can move on.
Thank you, Judge.
What?
Sorry.
You just pled guilty.
Yeah, it's fine. Well,
I worked out a plea deal.
You're still
you're
guilty.
wrong. Yeah.
That's
You
a
still
plea.
go to jail
Yeah,
or
they should.
probation.
You're still 0 for 1.
Oh, God.
Hey, listen. They had the murder weapon. They had the dash cam.
Yeah.
They had they had everything. Gas station.
Yeah.
Surveillance.
You know who also had all of that?
Footprints.
You know who
Yeah,
also
I
had
know.
all of that?
DNA.
Could be AI.
The guys in My Cousin Vinny, And it was a different car. It wasn't even the same two guys.
Yeah.
Two guys walked into the Saks of Suds convenience store, and it was two different guys that came in right after them. So you just pled guilty to a crime you didn't commit.
I didn't expect you to go My Cousin Vinny there, I'll be honest. I thought you were going with I really didn't think you were going with somebody else. All the evidence pointed one way.
Yeah. No.
You went My Cousin Vinny.
Because they were innocent,
That's true.
And proven
true.
innocent.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Who are you referring to?
I don't know.
Somebody
He's
different?
Somebody different.
We don't have to talk about it. Yeah. He was
If I were
found
that
innocent
person,
too.
He was.
I want to go back to the killer could still be out there.
There
Yeah,
you
he
go.
could. Yeah.
See?
All right, moving on from 636. Prove me wrong. The Savannah Bananas game at Busch Stadium this year will be the most entertaining games the entire year.
Nah, that's completely wrong. The Dodgers come into town what day? When do they come in town? You get to
June
watch Shohei
1st.
Ohtani, Mookie Betts. Shohei pitching this year, right? Huh?
Yes.
Huh? We get to watch regular season, hopefully. Clayton Kershaw at his finest. You get to see that. Mookie Betts, Teoscar Hernandez. What? You got to be kidding. The Savannah Bananas, fine entertainment, but there will be none finer than when the Los Angeles Dodgers come here to Busch Stadium.
I can't get behind that, Like, that's not entertaining for Cardinals fans if
Right.
they're getting blown out.
Yeah.
The Savannah Bananas ain't entertaining for Cardinal fans either.
What are you talking about? They're doing bat flips and catching baseballs and dancing everywhere. That's entertaining.
When Shohei hits one,
I don't see Shohei dancing all over the field.
No,
he
he's
might
gonna
be
be-
trotting the bases
There you
every now
go.
and then, but he ain't dancing.
jeez.
Unless Shohei,
I haven't seen him dance.
unless Shohei has a home run walk / celebration like I saw on the internet the other day in a different country. I don't know what
that was
World Series was going
That was
on.
Albert Pujols, wasn't it? Wasn't
That was his
not
team, I think.
That man took 4 minutes to round the bases. He gave the third base coach a hug. Love you, brother, and walked home.
I've got to go, but I'm going to walk.
Oh, man.
It was what was his name that hit it? Trying to look at it. Oh, Junior Kiminaro, I think was the one that hit it. And I mean, we probably could go a full segment.
Candelario?
Yeah,
Hit that one?
No, I thought it was Junior Caminero.
No.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Jaime Candelario?
Nah, I don't think so.
Maybe it was him. I don't know. But he took so long. We could have got a full sports six-pack in by the time that he rounded the bases.
Good shot on us.
Yeah. This one comes from Lou. Prove me wrong. 2 of Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow will never win a Super Bowl in their careers.
So 2 of those guys won't? Nah, even Tom Brady got hurt at some point, so that opened up the door for, somebody else to win it during that time. Was it Big Ben that won?
Ben won one.
Yeah,
I
during
mean, Eli
the
won
time.
Too.
Yeah.
Nick Foles won one. Matty Ice wasn't able to. He tried his best. He did. He gave
Come on.
It's uncalled for. It's uncalled for.
Feel good?
It was
feel good?
It was uncalled
Man
for.
won an MVP award.
It was uncalled for.
Ring of Honor.
Yep. It was
By
unnecessary.
all accounts, one of the more stand-up individuals.
It was uncalled for.
Total professional.
I apologize.
Anyways.
He tried, though.
Anyways, Andy Reid probably retires at some point, opening up the door for other quarterbacks to have their,
I don't know. I
their
don't
say.
think Andy Reid retires. Like, we thought he was going to retire after, what was the second championship?
Yeah.
Oh, the first one? Second one? Because this is going to be, after the first or second one. Either
Right.
one. But he didn't. He stayed there. We thought, Eric Bieniemy is the coach in waiting.
Well, hey, maybe Mahomes, he retires early, And that opens up the door for Joe Burrow.
Maybe.
And or Josh Allen and or Lamar.
Well, Joe Burrow's not an elite quarterback, according
To Chris Gansey. Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is there's no shortage of situations involving Mahomes not playing for at least 1 year or 2 years, I guess in this case, and opening up the door for one of those three quarterbacks to win a Super Bowl.
Andy Reid is 66 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't retiring no time soon.
Okay.
He got at least 6 to 8 more years in him.
Sure.
72.
Yeah.
He'd probably be done by 75.
Right.
But I don't see him going anywhere.
Okay.
And he's a March baby, so.
Is he?
Yeah, March 19th.
Yeah.
That's an Aries.
Yeah. Is it?
I believe so. I don't know. What the
Anyways,
deal
Marsh, here's the deal. Again, Tom Brady didn't win all the time. There were various situations. Blew out his ACL the one time. Eli got him twice.
Yeah.
The deal that he made with the devil needed to be restructured multiple times in order for him to win more. So whatever deal Mahomes also has, there's going to be some loopholes allowing talented quarterbacks like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow to win a title. I rest my case. Thank you.
Figured you at least get one ding today.
Thanks. Yeah.
Good job.
Seemed like a mercy ding, but we'll take it.
Yeah, it was. Speaking of Matty Ice, I was watching the AFC Championship game, of course, the other day, and Nate Burleson was on the panel, and he was talking about, some of these quarterbacks that we just mentioned, they're going through the Patrick Mahomes era.
Yeah.
And a lot of quarterbacks, unfortunately, came out on the wrong side of things in the Tom Brady era. And he said this with Matt Ryan standing right next to him.
Oh, gosh. Oh, man.
Knowing Matt being a stand-up guy, unlike CD, he probably let it roll off his back. Yeah. Maybe even made a self-deprecating joke.
Matty Ice is a good quarterback, man. Is he a Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
You think so?
He won an MVP. Wasn't that your qualification?
No, I said multiple MVPs. You got to win more than one.
Is Phillip Rivers an MVP? Or a Hall of Famer, I mean?
I think so.
Okay, then I think Matt Ryan does.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only reason why Matt Ryan wasn't in more Super Bowls is because the man had, how do I put this? Some of the worst defenses in NFL history. Even the year they went to the Super Bowl, I think they were ranked somewhere in the bottom 10 in defensive efficiency.
You sound like an Aaron Rodgers apologist right now.
Aaron Rodgers had plenty of decent defenses. Plenty.
He didn't have a number one receiver. Remember that? He didn't have a first-round receiver.
That's right.
Remember that defense, though, that your Falcons defeated?
Shredded.
In that NFC Championship game?
Shredded.
There you go.
Devontae Adams certainly wasn't a number one.
He was not a first-round receiver. That's what his problem
it needed
was.
to be a first round. Got it. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Could 2025 be the only chance for the Cardinals to move Nolan Arenado? At least one MLB Network analyst believes that to be the case. No, at least John Morosi on MLB Network believes that to be the case. Whatever. Who was it? Wasn't it John Morosi? Marshy?
No.
I don't care who said it. We'll just talk about it next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Brandon Saad will be placed on unconditional waivers on Thursday for the purpose of contract termination. We talked about that at the beginning of the show. If you missed that conversation, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. It's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. The Blues will take on the Colorado Avalanche on Friday. Pregame starts at 7. Puck drop is at 8. We'll talk with Blues head coach Jim Montgomery at 4:15. But coming up next, could 2025 be the only chance for the Cardinals to move Nolan Arenado? We'll discuss right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
I would say, based on some conversations I've had this week, the chances continue to increase that by the time the Cardinals arrive to spring training in Jupiter, Florida, Arenado will still be a member of the St. Louis Cardinals because of that number you see on the bottom of your screen. Owed $74 million over the next 3 seasons. And we ask ourselves, how many teams in baseball on the 29th of January have that kind of payroll capacity and flexibility to add a player who is candidly coming off of a down offensive year?
That was John Morosi on MLB Network talking about the latest with Nolan Arenado's trade market. Now, I fumbled over that tease talking about could 2025 be the only chance for the Cardinals to move Nolan Arenado, but it was based off of what John Morosi just said. Is it possible that if he's not moved during the calendar year, meaning right now, the trade deadline, or the offseason next year, which is really... things start to kind of pick up in December, and then, once January hits, you don't see a ton of big-time trades and everything. It happens, but you don't see a ton of them in January. So is it possible, if he's not moved during the calendar year, that he's going to remain a Cardinal the rest of his contract? Yeah. What do you think?
Especially if he doesn't have a rebound year like from what he had last year. I think if the play is similar, or even if it goes down even more, you're less likely to have teams that are willing to make that trade. Your best bet is going to be at the trade deadline this year. Your best bet was probably the trade deadline last year or 2 years ago, honestly. But we've talked about this. When players get older and they're owed a lot of money, people aren't. We were talking about it with Jimmy Butler, 35. He's owed $50 million. Who's gonna want to do that? Basketball is a little different, but for baseball, if they can't move him now, it also stunts your growth in terms of players on the field, because now where does Nolan Gorman play? Where is Brendan Donovan playing? Where is Lars Nootbaar still here? I mean, you're going to have to probably move on from one of those guys if Nolan Arenado is still your third baseman. Or you sit him on the bench and let those guys play. But I don't think that that's an option either.
Right.
So it does make it a little bit more difficult for the Cardinals if they're unable to move him. But if Nolan Arenado wants to play elsewhere, he'd have an outstanding year this year, and I guarantee you the Cardinals will be able to try to move him. Be able to move him.
Yeah, that's really the best case scenario. Yeah. He winds up having a big first half, and a team bites. But I still think the Cardinals are going to have to eat a lot of that contract, though, Carey.
That was surprising, because the deal to the Astros, it felt like the Astros were taking, wasn't it like $50 million of it? They
were going to take a significant portion. Yeah. And Arenado squashed that, which is well within his right. He's got he earned the no trade clause.
Correct.
The Colorado Rockies decided to give him a no trade clause. So now the Cardinals have to honor that as well. So this is nothing against Arenado when it comes to squashing the deal with the Astros, but the Astros deal was perfect for the Cardinals, not for Nolan. He's owed $21 million this upcoming season at age 34. He's owed $16 million next year and $15 million at age 36. This is the tail end of a long contract. This is how it normally looks. And the Cardinals knew that when they acquired him from Colorado. And they did so thinking that they had plenty of window space, or the window was going to stay open, for them to win a championship. And it didn't work out. This is part of the repercussions. And it's interesting, and I don't feel like we've really talked about this, but at the winter warm-up, John Mozeliak still indicated like this was like their primary goal. This is like the number one thing they had to do this offseason was trade Nolan Arenado. But if you're not going to take on a lot of the contract, which is what the Cardinals, if you read reports by Katie Wu at The Athletic, the Cardinals want to open up that spot, but they don't want to eat the contract. You're going to have to do one or the other.
Correct.
You're either going to have to pay the man. You're going to pay the man no matter what. Do you want to open up the spot at third base or not? That's just simple. I don't have $21 million plus $16 million plus $15 million involved in this, wrapped up in this. Okay, right. So it's a lot easier for me to sit here and squawk on the radio. But really, the question becomes, Carey, if you want to free up the spot at third base, you're going to have to eat the contract. Or at least a large portion of it.
Or just get through this year. Because what did they pay Waino his last year? Wasn't it like $17 million?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 16 ain't bad.
Or 10 plus incentives or something. I don't know.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Get through this year. Let him play. You're going to have him at third base. Hopefully he performs at the level that allows him to be an all-star gold glove caliber third baseman. And then you run it back next year. His salary goes down.
He's not running back. He's a third baseman.
Well, you run it back.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, run it back next year.
That makes more sense, Carey.
And figure it out. I mean, because, again, I was surprised that the Houston Astros, which is probably why the Cardinals were so eager to make that deal. They're going to take up how much? Hell, okay.
Oh, yeah.
You're good? Yeah, get out of here. Now you're going to run to a team that's like, nah, we don't want to take on that much salary. You take the majority of it, 70, 75%.
Right.
We'll eat the rest of it.
Yeah.
We'll eat the 25. It's fine. It's not a bad deal.
We'll throw you a decent prospect.
Yeah. And the Cardinals are like, take it all.
Yeah.
They're like, no, thank you.
So going back to the question, could 2025 be the only chance for the Cardinals to move Nolan Arenado?
Yes.
No.
What?
If he winds up being free to somebody else or damn near free, no, that won't be the only opportunity.
But we know that, well, we don't know, but we assume that they're not going to do that. But I think after this year, I think it becomes easier.
Yeah, I'm just asking the question.
Yeah, okay.
On its
surface. I agree with that.
Could 2025 be the only chance? No.
I agree with that.
Because next year, if they're willing to eat, $31 million left over, the Rockies are kicking in some whatever. Let's just say they're willing to eat $20 million.
You're good. Now you can move it.
You can move him.
Yeah, but you don't want to have to eat $50 million of 70.
No. So you're right. They're probably just going to have to go into this year and say, okay, we've got him at third base. This is it. You're not going to have the open spot at third base. Here we go.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Hopefully they figure that out but I don't think it's going to get figured out. He's going to be your opening day third baseman. He'll be playing. If he plays well, they'll try to move him at the trade deadline. They'll still have to eat some of the salary for the remaining 2 years, and he'll be out of the way.
The other thing, too, I mean, if his power numbers come back just a little bit, he had a high contact rate last year. He was putting the ball in play. It wasn't like he was a total disaster. It was just the power numbers were so bad that it was tough to digest. You couldn't have him in the middle of your order. But I think if the power numbers come up a little bit again, and I'm not saying they will because they've actually been on the decline over the last couple of years, which is probably why teams aren't willing to bite on them. But if the power numbers do come back a little bit, then who knows? Maybe you can move him at the deadline. What do you got?
I just love our texters. The answer is no to a really dumb question. Carey will never say anything positive about the Cardinals. He's too stuck on stupid. I love the Cardinals. I don't know why this person is so angry.
Why would you or anybody be stupid because you have an opinion? Is it just because the opinion doesn't match up with the other person's?
Generally, when people, yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Like it's your opinion.
It's an opinion, man. You don't have to like it. You don't have to listen to it either.
Right.
You can turn that dial. Find something better to do.
It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Before I say something to you.
Yeah. We'll just move forward here, huh? We do have Jim Montgomery coming up at 4:15. Also, you can get your mic drops in. We asked who is the one Cardinal that you need answers from for this upcoming season. So, Carey, you said Jordan Walker, which probably is the number one on most of our boards, right? Like we all want answers from Jordan Walker's game.
Yes.
Marsh, you said Ivan Herrera, which certainly makes sense. I would love to say, and I mentioned this before, I would love to say a pitcher, but if they're just going to roll with the five that they currently have slated right now, which is Sonny Gray, Eric Fetty, Miles Michaelis, Andre Palance, and Stephen Matz, I'll bypass the pitcher. I said Lars Nootbaar. He's got the injury history. There was that flash of potential. There has been flashes of potential. But I think there's a lot of question marks surrounding Lars Nootbaar and whether or not this is somebody that the Cardinals can count on for their outfield moving forward. What do you got, Marsh? You're laughing pretty hard over there. What do we got?
Nothing.
Okay. All right.
Just reading some text messages. Got some funny listeners, Anthony.
Yeah.
Bet the Board is next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey Davis, and if you're looking for new windows or you need new windows, you need to know about Window Nation's sale. They are offering 60% off of all window styles, plus you pay nothing with no interest for 2 full years. Those new windows can keep the heat in and the cold air out, and that's something that'll keep your bills lower. You get a free, no-obligation quote today from Window Nation. All you need to do is dial 866-90-NATION or go online at windownation.com. They can install that window in 1 day or less, and Window Nation's windows come with a lifetime warranty. All they do is windows. They're experts. Last year alone, they installed over 200,000 windows, 96% of those requiring no follow-up service. They are an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. And again, they can install that window in 1 day or less, so give them a call, 866-90-NATION, or go online at windownation.com. That's 60% off of all window styles. That includes double hungs, bays, picture windows, everything. Again, you'll pay nothing with no interest for 2 full years. That's 2 full years. 866-90-NATION or online at windownation.com.
Time to bet the board here on 101 ESPN. March, what's the latest standings after a controversial night last night?
Well, and let's go over that real quick. Why is that?
Well, because you're giving Carey an extra pick for not doing his homework.
No.
What?
Steph Curry was ruled out at 7:30 p.m. yesterday.
So you pushed.
No.
You didn't
push.
win. You didn't win or lose. You pushed.
7:15.
Which in our game
Anthony Slater,
would be 0.
who I thought it said Anthony Stalter. Steph Curry is out tonight versus the Jazz. Steve Kerr, knees are bothering him. Warriors are hopeful he plays tomorrow versus the Thunder. That message was sent at 7:16 p.m.
Okay, so Marsh, you have now stated
Yes.
that Carey will receive an extra pick.
Because it is it's not even a push, though. It's more like if your guy doesn't play, that pick technically doesn't count.
You know? And it's not a parlay.
And we have done this in the past,
We
too.
have.
We've
So
done
I
this
don't
in the
have to
past,
get
so
both of them right, Ted.
This is not, something that we're
Hey, you know
making
what?
up.
I didn't get an extra pick when I picked a game. There was a team that was already down 5-0 in the first inning. That should have been a no play.
That was you that didn't know.
Should have been a no play.
Yeah, that was you that didn't realize that they were already down.
But we did, what we did do, we did implement the live bet,
We did.
essentially. So
that's what you had.
The live play.
You had a live play. You were.
Did I get plus like 6 runs?
No.
I don't think
No, it was a live money line play.
Look,
Yep.
whatever. What are the standings?
The standings, Anthony, you're definitely not in first.
Yeah,
I know
thank
that
you.
for a fact. Carey has 12 points. Anthony, you have 9. Jamie and I are still at 7.
Okay. All right, Carey. So I'm down 3. 3 days left in the month.
I feel like you're going to
And
parlay
you
it
get
today.
an extra pick. Just for being you, apparently. So
I'm going
what
to
is-
stick with my points,
is your
rebounds, and assists. Give me Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 43.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
Okay. So last night, congratulations, by the way, to Zusha's Kentucky Wildcats.
Did they
Remember
win?
when I said that spread didn't make any damn sense? And you were like, yeah, you should probably take it. They won outright.
Did they?
Yeah.
You should have taken it.
I got the Capitals.
Okay.
Caps won. I don't know why Wisconsin's plus 5.5 tonight at Maryland, so I'll take Wisconsin plus 5.5 at Maryland. That'll be my play. And no, I'm not going to do that.
Ooh.
You thought I was.
I
but
did.
Yeah, no.
I'm going with Toronto, Minnesota tonight in the NHL, over 5.5 goals.
Over 5.5. Did Jamie hit his play last night?
No, Montreal lost. I know, it was a shocker.
Darn
Right?
it.
That's too bad. Yeah, he sent me his pick tonight. It's the Flyers. Remember he went with the Flyers earlier in the week against the Rangers. He says that they'll definitely beat the New Jersey Devils tonight. So the Flyers are Jamie's pick tonight at the board in BTB.
It might have to do with the Eagles being in the Super Bowl. Maybe
He's feeling them. He's just feeling Philly.
He's feeling Philly.
The 76ers rolled past the Lakers last night, so maybe it's just a Philly thing right now.
All right.
Bronny James got victimized by
I saw that.
Tyrese Maxey.
I thought he wasn't playing in the NBA anymore.
Oh, they brought him up because he had one good game in the G League.
Okay.
So they said, you know what? Bronny's ready.
Had 2.
Oh, 2 good games. Excuse me.
Had 30 points twice.
2 good games in the G League. So the Lakers said, why don't we go ahead and bring up Bronny James? He's ready. He's ready. Does he have a point yet?
Yeah.
Does he have a point?
Yeah, he scored.
Okay.
A point. Pretty sure. He had 3 rebounds. Huh?
I'm looking at the scores right now here. Yeah, he, at least over his last 10 games, he doesn't have a point.
Well, just be patient.
On the season, as I'm looking at it, he's got 4 points on
There
the
you
year.
go. 4 more than you and I.
That's very true, Gary. Very true.
They must be shooting on those Six Flags hoops, Anthony.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Carey, you're right. Bronny James, he's He's got 4 more points than you and I. Of course, LeBron isn't our father, but
True.
There's that. All right, we've got the Gauntlet next on 101 ESPN.
Warriors. 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN 4 o'clock. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Carey Davis and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. Don't forget, in 15 minutes, we're going to talk to the head coach of your St. Louis Blues, Jim Montgomery, on a day where the Blues have mutually agreed with Brandon Saad to terminate his contract after they placed him on unconditional waivers. So we'll talk to Jim Montgomery in 15 minutes. We've got Alex on the line right now. What's up, Alex?
Not much.
Oh, man, you're locked in. You're locked in right now, Alex. All right.
No pleasantries.
Nope,
Not
nothing.
much. Let's go. I'm ready.
Alex, do you want CD, Marsh, or me?
I'm going to have to go with CD because I had to take him on with Randy on the morning show.
Oh, did you? How'd you do?
He got the better half of me.
Okay, so this is a revenge spot for you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. Before you go, CD, let me remind you, Carey Davis.
Good luck, Alex.
I think he was trying to say good luck. Yeah. All right, Alex, go ahead and tell Marsha to spin that wheel.
Go ahead and spin that wheel, Marsh.
What are you hoping for, Alex?
We'll go ahead and go with football.
Okay. Now the wheel knows if you're trying to choose something that you don't want.
Yeah.
So now that the wheel is already spun, what do you really want?
Football.
Yeah, you're not getting it. It's hockey today.
Hockey. Okay,
Yeah.
you actually really did want football. Interesting. All right, so hockey today. 4 hockey.
The wheel knows,
The wheel
Anthony.
knows.
You can't trick the
no,
wheel.
you can't. That's for darn sure. All right, 4 questions, all hockey related. Thank you, Marsh. Each question is worth 2 points unless you ask for the options. If you ask for the options, then that question is worth 1 point. Are you ready, Alex?
Sure thing. Let's go.
All right, you're born ready. I feel it. Question 1. Aside from the Montreal Canadiens, who have played a record 768 playoff games in their history, which team has played the most playoff games in NHL history?
Let's go ahead and go with the options on that one.
Sure. Toronto Maple Leafs, Boston Bruins, Detroit Red Wings.
Go with Detroit. Final answer.
Question number 2. Aside from the original 6 teams, which team has played in the most playoff games in NHL history? So aside from the original 6 teams.
Let me do the options on that one as well.
Options are the Dallas Stars, the Philadelphia Flyers, or the St. Louis Blues.
Let's go with the Stars. Final answer.
Question 3, Alex. Which NHL player holds the best plus-minus rating for a career? This player finished his career plus 722.
Let me do the options on that one as well.
Wayne Gretzky, Larry Robinson, or Bobby Orr?
We'll go with Wayne Gretzky. Final answer.
And question number 4. Who has played the most games in NHL history? Playing in 1,779 regular season games.
Let's say Wayne Gretzky again. Final answer.
All right. Let's bring back Carey Davis from the Cone of Silence. He's not paying attention right now. Now he's going to take his sweet-ass time walking in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. He's throwing something
Old man.
away.
Whoa!
Whoa!
What I miss?
Well, he just said you were a nice guy.
Ah,
He did not. Called you old. I'll just tell you right now, Carey, because you're going to hear from somebody else. Might as well be me. Your Aries brother.
I
He called you
appreciate
old. All right, Carey.
sorry, Alex.
Your category today is hockey.
Oh, yeah.
You love that hockey.
Oh, I do.
Let's do that hockey.
All right.
Marsh?
Pack a lunch.
All
Here
right,
we
it's
go.
back.
Question 1. Aside from the Montreal Canadiens, who have played a record 768 playoff games in their history, which team has played the most playoff games in NHL history?
How many games you say?
768.
Well, it's a very good question, Anthony.
Thank you.
Glad you asked that.
Yeah, sure. I got one more coming for you, too.
Get the options, please.
Sure. Toronto Maple Leafs, Boston Bruins, Detroit Red Wings.
Detroit Red Wings, final answer.
Question number 2. Aside from the original 6 teams, which team has played in the most playoff games in NHL history?
Options.
Options are the Dallas Stars, the Philadelphia Flyers, or the St. Louis Blues.
Flyers, Blues, and who was the last one?
Stars.
Let's go St. Louis Blues. Final answer.
All right, question 3. Which NHL player holds the best plus-minus rating for a career? This player finished his career plus 722.
It has to be somebody that... Ooh. Someone on a good team? I want to take a shot. Read the question one more time, please.
Which NHL player holds the best plus-minus rating for a career? This player finished his career plus 722.
I don't know why Mark Messier is the name that's come to mind, so give me Mark Messier. Take a shot. Final answer.
Question number 4. Who has played the most games in NHL history, playing in 1,779 regular season games?
Oh. Ooh. Jaromir Jagr was the name that came to mind.
You know, he's played in over 3,000, according to some.
Jaromir Jagr. Final answer.
Okay.
All right, so let's go over these. Good matchup today between Alex and CD in hockey. How you guys feeling?
Not great.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's see how you guys did.
Yeah.
Question number 1. Aside from the Montreal Canadiens, who have played a record 768 playoff games in their history, which team has played the most playoff games in NHL history? Alex, with the options, you went with the Detroit Red Wings. Carey, with the options, you went with the Detroit Red Wings. Correct answer is...
It's the Boston Bruins.
All right, so we got a 0-0 tie between Alex and CD. Aside from original 6 teams, which team has played in the most playoff games in NHL history? Alex, with the options, you said the Dallas Stars. Carey, with the options, you said our very own St. Louis Blues. Correct answer is...
It's the Philadelphia Flyers.
We got a 0-0 tie. Which NHL player holds the best plus-minus rating for a career? This player finished his career at plus 722. Carey, without the options, said Mark Messier. Alex did take the options, and he went with the great one, Wayne Gretzky.
Is Messier an option?
No. Correct answer is
Larry Robinson.
Larry Robinson was the correct answer. Marsh, score check.
0-0.
It comes down.
Options.
It comes down to this. Neither of you took the options.
Ooh.
Neither of you. Who has played the most games in NHL history, playing in 1,779 regular season games? Carey, you went with Jaromir Jagr, because you heard me say one time he played in over 3,000. Alex, you too went without the options, and you went Wayne Gretzky. If it's Wayne Gretzky, Alex wins. If it's Jagr, Carey wins. If it's literally any other player who has played a game in the NHL,
1,700.
we have specifically that. We have a 0-0 tie and a walk-off. Alex.
Walk it off.
Oh, my.
Just smashed my hand.
0-0 walk-off?
Yes, your options for that last question. You guys were close. Joe Thornton, Patrick Marleau, or Gordie Howe?
Is it Gordie Howe or Joe Thornton?
It's Patrick Marleau.
Correct answer is Patrick Marleau. All right, this is how it's going to work quickly. We've got we got a question for you closest to the pin. Alice, you're going to hold off on your answer until Carey writes down his and shows it to us. Then we're going to go right to you. No cheating. Are you guys ready?
Yep.
All right, again, closest to the pin wins. How many playoff games have the Boston Bruins played in their history? How many playoff games have the Boston Bruins played in their history? Carey's writing down his answer. We have his answer. Alex, what's yours?
Go with 1001.
Okay. Marshy?
Do some math here. Hang on a second.
I can help you out on that.
Well, yeah,
Is
probably.
it that close?
No, but now I feel dumb, Anthony. Thanks.
Really?
All right.
Oh, no. Yep, we're good.
Yep.
I don't
All right.
feel good at all.
How many playoff games have the Boston Bruins played in their history? Carey, you wrote down?
588.
Alex said 1,001. Alex.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose.
Not today.
Correct answer is
702.
702. 702.
Well, I
So
knew it was
Carey's
less than
114
700.
off. And Alex right around, 217 or something like that?
299.
299 is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Alex, thanks for playing, man. Carey got you again. Real barn burner today, though.
Yep, have a good one again.
All right, thanks.
Alex.
That's what I knew it was way over 1,000 was way over because the 768 was.
Yeah, there you go. True. All right, we've got Jim Montgomery coming up next. We'll talk to the Blues head coach here on 101 ESPN.
Puck with the head coach of your St. Louis Blues, Jim Montgomery. Coach Monty is presented by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
With Super Bowl champion Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. Let's head to the Callier and Thompson phone line where we have Jim Montgomery, head coach of your St. Louis Blues, on the line right now. It's our weekly chat with Monty. Coach, how you doing today?
Anthony and Carey, I'm doing well. I'm doing better than Sniffles is.
I'm thinking Jamie's not really sick. He's just dodging the phone call with you, Coach.
Yeah, well, I do have that, effect on people. I do intimidate.
Makes sense. Coach, look, Brandon Saad placed on unconditional waivers for all intents and purposes. He's not going to be a St. Louis Blue. What was essentially missing from Saad's game that had ultimately made him expendable?
I think it's a couple of things. We want to get some of our younger players into the lineup more consistently, so that frees up a roster spot. We're going to go with 13 forwards, so there's going to be more ice time readily available. And then also, our team has lacked consistency, and I always look at the team first. And then, there's individuals that have lacked the consistency, and it's not just Brandon, because he's been a really good Blue for a long time, and I think his statistics back that up. But it's just a step in the direction of trying to get more ice time for certain players.
Coach, I'm always intrigued by this as a coach of a professional team. It's not like college. It's not like high school. These guys, this is our job. This is what we do for a living. But when guys aren't performing well and aren't meeting the standards, how do you go about getting them to perform and meet those standards in order to win games?
Yeah, I think it's holding them to a degree of accountability, letting them know first what the standard is, whether that's on ice, off the ice, weight room, even appearance, the way we want to look. But it really comes down to performance on the ice. And there's a standard that we want in this city, a blue-collar workman-like attitude, and on the ice, showing your second and third effort naturally night in, night out is a standard that has always been here since 1967 for the St. Louis Blues, and something I think the city has loved about the Blues. And right now, in the last little while, we haven't met that standard, and we've got to get that standard back, and it's got to be more consistent.
And, Coach, when you're talking about setting those standards, have you found that it does come better from you or maybe from their peers, from their teammates, when they're telling them, hey, we're not meeting those standards, we're not doing the things we need to do to win games?
I think it's a combination of both. Coaches have to do their part. They got to set the standard. Players got to agree with the standard. And that's dealing with today's athlete. That is the way it's. And when athletes make the salaries they do in professional sports, it has to be a partnership. There's no way that it can be a dictatorship anymore. And so you set the standard, you agree on the standard, and then enforcing the standard comes from the coach, but it has more of an effect when it comes from the dressing room. It always has. Players, and rightfully so, over the years, I remember being a player. Carey, you remember. Mm-hmm. It comes down to, the coach sets the standard, but you always think in the back of your mind, the coach is getting me to do something that he wants me to do.
Right.
Not that I necessarily want to do that I think is best for the team. But when those same standards come from your leaders and your glue guys in the locker room, then the player buys in a lot more because they know it's their teammates that want this from them.
Coach Jim Montgomery, the Blues, joining us right now on the Fast Line on 101 at ESPN. Coach, I think that's a great answer. So how do you help bridge that gap? How do you get through to your leadership to basically have that message filtered down to everybody else within your locker room?
It's working on it consistently. Changing habits and the way people approach, whether it's adversity, conflict, good times. Our inconsistencies have happened in good times and in adversity. So it's just us being able to be more consistent with the way we deal with highs and lows during the year.
Coach, last time you were on, you talked to us about Matthew Joseph and him telling you about his penalty killing. You had him playing center last game. What did you think about his play?
I think Matthew Joseph is really taking steps in the right direction. We haven't had success, so he needs to continue to not only do what he's been doing, but raise his game another level and that's true for everybody, But Matthews Joseph has had a lot of scoring chances, and he keeps playing the way he is. It's only a matter of time before he's scoring, and that's going to help the rest of his game because the rest of his game has been really good. I'd like to see him get rewarded for it.
Coach, how quickly, I'm sure there's multiple answers to this, but how quickly into a game do you know when your guys are firing in all cylinders, or like the Vancouver game where you felt as though maybe the team lacked some energy and maybe even urgency right out of the gates? How quickly do you know if your team's on this game or not?
First 4 or 5 minutes. When you're really on or you're really off, you probably tell in the first 2 minutes. But usually in the first 5, you have a good feeling, or you have an empty feeling. That's why I called timeout, I think 2 games ago, because I knew we were off. I knew we weren't dialed in. And I tried to, jolt us by, making them aware of that we're not on time and what the things that we do when we do look good. The type of game we have and the team identity we have. When we look good, not only, and you fans see it too. They know when we're working and when we're playing in unison versus when we look disjointed.
I got to imagine too, Coach, on that note. So first 4 minutes, we saw Braden Shen try to knock out a few chicklets, right out of the gates too, to try to fire up his the same team. Is there anything else that can be done within that time period besides calling a timeout or have a fight generate where you can get your guys to get all on the same page and have that energy?
To be honest, it shouldn't have to come to those kind. Every once in a while, you understand that it's going to have to come from whether it's your captain doing something like Braden Shen being incredibly selfless and trying to motivate his teammates and get the energy, or calling timeout, double shifting a couple of players or benching a couple of players. But you want everyone to be a self-starter and be excited about the opportunity to play in front of our great Blues fans and play for this city and wear that Blue Note jersey.
Coach, talk to me about Jordan Bennington and Joel Hofer. I know the numbers probably aren't where they would like them to be, and it's a team game, so it's not just on them. How do you keep those guys' spirits up when they may feel like they're not playing, to the ability or to the level that they need to help this team win games?
Yeah, you're right. I'm always going to look at the team game first and see what we could have done to make the goalies' lives easier. And our goalie coach / assistant coach, David Alexander, is excellent. He's one of the best in the world at his job, and he does a great job developing our goaltenders and having an incredible relationship with them where it's honest and there's feedback, positively, and teaching moments. And I rely heavily on him about how he's going to deal with them. I let them know when I see something that I think in their game that gives me confidence or, that raises my eyebrows a little.
Coach, final question from us here, and we're talking to Jim Montgomery, coach of the St. Louis Blues, right here on 101 ESPN and your home of the Blues. Coach, a lot of talk about Texier and whether or not there might be more ice time coming for him. What do you want to see out of a player specifically like Texier in order to give him extended ice time? What's the answers to the test there?
Yeah, I think Texier has a good runway from when the 2 games in Florida, a game in Detroit. Unfortunately, at Christmas time, he got the GI bug, and, he had to miss the first 2 games back. And that cost him his lineup spot because we started to play good hockey. But when he did get the opportunity to get back, it's the habits without the puck. And that's true for all of our players, that everybody looks different with the puck. Like Texier is an incredibly talented, skilled hockey player that can make plays and can skate, shoot, and score. But without the puck, everybody's got to look the same. And there's a certain level of habits and details that we look for from everybody without the puck, and we should all look similar. And that's what affects players' ice times and their ability to play regularly.
Coach, we appreciate it. We appreciate you coming on weekly with us, sharing some insights, especially when, right now you know that the team isn't heading where you want them to head. But we appreciate it. Love the accountability, and, we certainly are pulling for you guys to turn things around here. So thanks, Coach.
Hey, I appreciate you guys having me on. And during the course of a year, you're going to have your lulls where you look, quite honestly, like dog poop. And we got up to us to drag ourselves out of it.
Yeah,
we will drag ourselves out of it.
No, we believe that. We certainly have some dog poop shows. We don't want to admit it, but typically, Coach, when Jamie's out, that tends to be our best performances.
Well, make sure you guys send over some chicken noodle soup for Sniffles today.
We will. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate you.
Cheers, guys.
See ya.
Thank you.
That's Coach Jim Montgomery here on 101 ESPN. Splashback Deuce says, how in the fast lane, and I'll paraphrase because his message just went off, but he goes, how in the fast lane do players not want to play for this guy? Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
This man knows what he's doing. It's clear he has won at, in various roles with various teams. How do you not have the energy to on a nightly basis or a game by game basis to not want to go out and not disappoint that guy?
The one thing he said that stuck with me is habits. When you have bad habits, it's not something that you just pick up randomly, like one often, and it just happens. It's something that you've been doing for a period of time, whether it's multiple games, multiple years. It's something that you aren't doing well enough, and it's so hard to break bad habits, especially when you've had success with those bad habits. Like we talked about Jordan Walker and his swing. He's had success with that swing, but it's something bad about it. It's a bad habit that he has, and it doesn't work in certain levels. And so the Blues he's saying they have a lot of bad habits that they have to correct, and it doesn't happen overnight. It's not like you're just going to be able to snap your finger, and because it's and those bad habits got a couple of coaches fired, right? So it's going to take some time for those guys to recreate and shift how they think about things and how they go about their work in order to create good habits that might not feel as good or might not feel like you're having as much success individually, but as a team, collectively, you start having more success because you're playing with better habits.
And it starts with the small stuff, right? Like I sent you guys that video yesterday of the Blues practice, and they had a hard practice, and they were doing a drill, and they're making passes, like 10-foot passes, and I saw a few of them that were not hard passes. There was a few that were like in the skates. And mind you, this is like there's like no one there. It's just like a 2-on-0 essentially with some back checkers, and there's passes going in skates from 10 feet away. And in practice, like the way you play in games is a reflection of how you practice.
True.
And so you talk about habits and like the little things. It's doing those little things like crisp passes in practice, like that will lead to success in games. And maybe you don't go offside, or maybe that back checker that's coming back doesn't catch up and end up breaking up the a 2-on-0 or whatever it is. Like it's just little stuff like that. And we don't get to watch practice, but seeing videos of it yesterday, I was like, oh man, like that was kind of alarming for me. It was just a few things, but those are the little things that really matter when it comes to certain situations in games.
That's details. You know that.
Details matter, Anthony.
Especially investigations and in hockey.
Yes.
Carey also responded to that video with an interesting take. I thought he was going to, maybe we'll see it down the road.
What video?
The one that Marsh sent out about the Blues and some of the bad habits that might be forming and stuff like that.
Was that Carey?
Yeah, Carey responded by saying,
I need to change my contact name.
Something about.
I must have you guys confused in my contacts.
Yeah.
Didn't see it.
Well,
you sent it, so you had to.
Like I said, I think I need to change my contact names.
Oh.
So Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We got the Sports Six Pack coming up. You got a question for us? Fantastic. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. At least part one. Yeah, let's be honest. It's going to be part one of the Sports Six Pack here on 101 ESPN. I love Mosby Building Arts. My wife loves Mosby Building Arts. It's because of the Right Remodeling Company. So what does the Right Remodeling Company mean? Well, we've all had projects that go sideways at our house. You hire somebody, maybe you go with the most inexpensive company, and then they start to outsource a lot of their business, and all of a sudden your project gets delayed. Maybe they cut corners. Maybe they have hidden cost. None of this goes on with Mosby Building Arts. We should know in the Stalter household because we just had doors replaced that was causing a leak in the basement. So we're talking about flooring that needed to be redone, steps needed to be removed outside, doors needed to be placed and actually set properly so the leak would completely stop and it wouldn't come back. Mosby knocked it out in a couple of days. We love the work that they did, and we got honest pricing. There was no gimmicks or hidden fees with Mosby. High quality work. The designers came in. They were friendly. They kept good care of our house. When they were done, they cleaned up. This is what a right remodeler looks like. It's Mosby with Mosby Building Arts. They're phenomenal. I highly recommend them. You can visit callmosby.com, schedule a free consultation today, see the difference for yourself. Of course, you can give them a call, 314-909-1800. Again, 314-909-1800. Bath remodels, kitchen remodels, basements, doors. They do it all at Mosby Building Arts, the Right Remodeling Company.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues announced that Brandon Saad will be placed on unconditional waivers on Thursday for the purpose of contract termination. We talked about that earlier in the show. We briefly dove into it with Blues head coach Jim Montgomery. If you missed either of those conversations, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. We have our Sports Six-Pack coming up next, so get your questions into the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Sports Six-Pack is next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
Time for the Sports Six-Pack here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, I'm Anthony Stalter. Time for our Sports Six-Pack. What do you got, Marsh?
All righty.
Question number one.
From the 217, the Baltimore Orioles have announced a new, reasonably priced concessions menu, similar to the Phoenix Suns. Would you attend more games if the Cardinals did this?
No. I care about the product. I don't care about
the part of the product.
Yeah, but I care about the team.
Didn't the Falcons do something like that with their
their concessions are like the lowest. They're lowest in like the NFL, or they're one of the lowest, I think, in professional sports. Yeah. Unfortunately, if the team's no good, and that they were fine.
They were swag and surf in Atlanta.
They did.
Yeah.
They walked into your trap
took over your trap.
Sometimes.
Every now and then. They just didn't take care of their own trap.
Yeah.
At times.
So no.
No.
So I think, well, let's think about this, Anthony. You need to take the kids to an event, right? You want to go to a ball game. One of the reasons why you may not want to go is because kids get hungry, you know? You got your daughter Madeline selling cookies.
Yeah. You want some?
Not really. I was.
And we thank you for that, CD.
Willingly ordered.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Now, I asked you multiple times, and I showed you a picture of my sweet Madeline. But nonetheless, you bought some cookies, and I appreciate you. Yeah.
But let's say you need to go to a game. You want to take the kids.
I got put in a headlock.
No, you did. I was trying to walk away.
There was going to be one more thing I was going to do. Just consider the headlock one of the softer options.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah.
Hey, you take them to the game. You feed them.
Yeah.
You have a good time. It doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. Or a leg and an arm, as one of the commercials says. Right?
Yeah.
You would enjoy it.
Absolutely.
No, I don't believe you.
No, I care about the product.
You know I would be all over this, especially if there's a rain delay. Even if it's sprinkling outside and they decide to cancel the game, knowing probably that they're going to cancel the game. But if the concessions were cheaper in said rain delay, I'd be a lot happier.
Yeah. I know you
Hypothetically
would.
speaking.
Hypothetically, yeah, it's not right. Yeah. You're not talking about anything specifically.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Can I address something? I wasn't going to. Can I just address something?
Have at it.
So Mack in the snake pit. We came on the air like 2 seconds before Brandon Saad was placed on unconditional waivers, right? And I made the comment, not Carey, not Marsh. I made the comments about how I didn't want to talk about a potential cap hit without knowing the full scope of the situation. At some point, Carey, you and I were like, well, if the contract is terminated, obviously, there would be no cap hit, right? But I didn't want to just come on without doing the full research on it, right? Plus, it was 2 seconds before the show. So Mack comes on in the snake pit and says, bro, no, Saad wouldn't count against the cap at all. Obviously, all caps. His deal would be terminated. I shouldn't know more about sports than our local sports station. Hey, Mack, do your thing, man. Where's your podcast? I'll listen to it.
You can post it on Twitter.
You can post it anywhere. It's never been easier than to host your own sports show. You undeniable genius.
Real man of genius.
We salute you, who starts his own podcast and irritates Anthony Stalter.
The NFL talk is entry level. Most of the time, it's fantasy football level depth.
We suck.
So not hard at all.
We suck.
I don't agree.
What can I tell? What can I tell you?
Mac Daddy Mac, you're wrong. That's what you can tell him.
I'm agreeing with him.
Nah, I don't agree.
It's terrible.
Don't agree with Mac.
So I can't wait for yours, man. I'll listen to you.
I mean, if you have more knowledge on things.
He's got more knowledge about sports than anybody.
In Everbob?
In Everbob.
He should have his own podcast.
And so, like, you know, if you do go download it, you'd hear that at the beginning of the show, I mentioned Puckpedia, which was an account on X that Jimmy Rutherford reposted. And I'll say it again. If Saad mutually terminates his contract, he loses the $5.425 million cash owing to him. The Blues will save his full $4.5 million cap hit instead of just the $1.15 million if he was in the minors.
So there's your answer. Marshy
Which we eventually said. I apologize for coming on these airwaves and not wanting to share something without full scope of it. Now, in Mack's defense, I do that a lot, and I'm usually wrong about things. And I get a lot of things wrong. And my sports talk is pure hot garbage, which is why I'm going to listen to Mack and Friends tomorrow, starting at 8 o'clock.
8 a.m. or p.m.?
Honestly,
is it Central Time,
I'm going to listen to it for a couple hours beforehand.
Mountain Time?
And then I'm going to listen to it after.
You got to do both.
I want to completely.
You want your ear holes completely.
I want Mack to make love to these earlobes for multiple times a day. Because if this guy is spitting sports knowledge
you hear
all
that,
day
Mac
long,
Daddy?
I'm here for it.
You better have a podcast up and running so Anthony can tune in.
Entry-level fantasy.
Yeah.
Of course, he knows that because he listens a lot, apparently. There's a bunch of guys that don't know anything.
Let's be nice.
The hell with that.
No.
We're here now.
Mack opened this door. Mack opened the door. Mack wanted attention. I'm giving him attention.
Kick it right in his face.
Yeah, he should have moved out the way. Entry-level talk.
Carey won a Super Bowl.
Mac, I hate to tell you this, sir. Or ma'am, I don't know. I don't want to. I'm not assuming.
Well, we don't know.
I don't know.
He's got no picture.
No picture. I don't know.
He's got
Mac
nothing but Mac.
is generally a male name, but I don't know. I hate to inform you this, Mac. You would probably your mind would be blown with the wealth of football knowledge in this room. You know,
from Carey mostly. Let's be honest about it.
You know, not just me. But if entry level is your thing, you know, we can give you more in-depth information.
I've been idle in bad mood today.
You have.
I've been idle and I don't know if you felt it when I came in today, Marsh.
I felt it.
I've been idle in bad mood. And then I saw Mack, the sports god, entered the snake pit.
Oh.
And he's got to spew this stuff. But I'm only mad because Mack's right.
So
I don't think Mac's right. I think Mac is wrong.
Go ahead, Marsh. I'm done.
Jeremy Rutherford, our friend from The Athletic, Blues Insider.
Yeah.
They are free and clear of his salary. I just texted JR. I'm like, you know what? We're having something's going on here right now. I don't know what this is. Ranthony's definitely out right now.
You didn't have to text JR.
Full force.
Mack had it.
I know Mack had it, right? But we're going to JR, though. You know? They are free and clear of his salary and his cap hit. Saad is walking away from about $5 million. His cap hit will no longer count towards Blues.
Obviously. That's what Mack said.
Yeah.
What other sports questions do you have? I'd like to turn the sports six-pack over to Mack.
Let Mack answer all sports questions.
Why would we, with our entry-level knowledge? Meanwhile, the gentleman to my right has a Super Bowl ring.
Oh, that doesn't matter, Anthony.
All right, I'm done being pissy. We'll actually do the sports six-pack next. After I check out more from Mack. Do you think he's got a breakdown?
He doesn't have Twitter. He said he does not have Twitter.
He doesn't have Twitter?
Unfortunately. Yeah.
Where am I going to find his podcast?
I don't know. Hey, you can check him out where you find all podcasts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. More sports picks. Well, actually, let's actually do the sports six-pack. How about that? Next on 101 ESPN. Stewie's the guy you need to call if you're looking for your dream home and you don't know whether or not that you can secure that loan. Maybe you got a financial situation where you don't know if you can, afford that dream home, or maybe you have a home picked out, but you want to free up some cash so that you can redo the bathroom or redo the kitchen. Maybe do the basement, whatever you want to do. Call Stewie, because Stewie has seen so many different changes in the market, and he's helped so many people over the years. He's been in the market for several decades now. Stewie's the guy. Stewie's the guy that I call with any sort of refi questions or any sort of loan questions. Jamie just got his dream home here in St. Louis, and the first person he called was Stewie. There's no challenge that Stewie won't meet head on. And once you become a client of his, he'll keep you up to date. So maybe the rates are dropping right then and there. He'll give you a call. He says, hey, I know you wanted to refi a month ago. Wasn't the right time. Now is the right time. Call Stewie today. Text him if you want to. You can text him because he hands out his personal cell phone number. That's 314-324-4440. Call Stewie today. Tell him that Jamie and Anthony told you to give him a ring. Fire any questions that you have at him. You won't be disappointed. And if you miss that phone number, you can always Google the Bagel Loan.
NMLS number 226715.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. And I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
All right, it's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Shout out to the Snake Pit. I love you guys and gals. Absolutely love you. You're the best. I needed the laugh in the break, Carey. I was reading through some of the comments by the Snake Pit. They're phenomenal.
Now I'm confused.
What's up?
I'm reading the text.
Well, if you have a sports question, you know where to go to.
I was trying to read what Mack wrote, but it's pretty incoherent. I don't understand it.
Wictolia. You're typing with two fingers. She's been funny today.
He didn't know what a 2-1 was called? Is that what he said?
I don't know.
A 2-1.
You did, yeah, you didn't know what a 2-1 was called.
What 2-1?
Don't look at me. I got entry-level skills, bro.
What 2-1 are you referring to?
I don't know. All right, let's move on. Sorry, guys. I do apologize in all sincerity. Marsh, fire away.
Question number 2.
All right. From the 636. Hey, guys, this isn't really a sports-related question, but I'll try to circle back and make it one.
Hey, you came to the right place.
You want your sports takes, go to Max.
I think Marsh is getting annoyed. Go ahead, Marsh.
To unwind during the weekend
Yes.
and after work this time of year, I like to go shed hunting and look for deer antler sheds.
Okay.
With that being said, what does the Fast Lane crew like to do to unwind after you get off the air? Having a man soda is expected, so what else?
I get off the air. I'm usually, if I'm not going to the gym, which is something that relieves stress and allows me to relax. I'm probably running around to some sporting event for my child. My son is he got wrestling practice tonight, basketball practice. He's about to start track here shortly. So, does football.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things.
Yeah, it's same thing, same as Carey. So tonight, my daughter's got basketball practice. She actually has dance and basketball, so I'll be running her in between the two places. So that's not really the unwind. Man, it's tough with kids. You know what I really like to do? Put the damn phone down.
Yeah.
Put the phone down, put the phone away, stop looking at it, and just...
Well, if you would have looked at your phone, Anthony, never mind. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
This is why you suck.
Couldn't help myself. Couldn't help myself. I was trying to stay out of it.
I'm glad you got in. I'm glad I felt like Carey and I were...
I don't want to be in. I want to get out.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I like to check out, and the only way to check out sometimes is to just put the phone down. Between all the text messages, and obviously you get sucked into social media. I mean, you can just scroll for hours. So a lot of times when I get home, I like to put the phone, on the charger, in my pocket or whatever, and just stay away from it, just kind of lock in with the kids. You know how it is when somebody's like, hey, how you doing? And then they look at their phone. I can't imagine what that's like for the kid.
Yeah.
For my kids. Hey, how's your day at school? As I scroll. Like, that's crap. So, I love movies. I love watching movies. I love watching documentaries. A lot of good documentaries. That's how typically I unwind. Usually when I'm driving home, there are some days, I think today's going to be one of them, I just go home in silence.
You don't scream in the car?
Do what? Scream?
Yeah.
I thought you said screen. Like screen time. Like have screen time in the car.
No,
Marsh, that's dangerous.
I think it's illegal now.
Yeah. No, sometimes I'll, when I'm driving in, I'll either listen to Be Care Ferrari or I'll kind of go around the various sports stations on Sirius. But going home, I'll either listen to music or I'll just check out.
I watched a documentary this weekend called Painkiller.
I saw that.
Yeah.
That's the one on the opioid?
Nah, no, not that documentary.
Oh.
Painkiller, isn't that the movie you...
Wait, when they're doing maybe some...
It.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, first time I've ever watched it.
What'd you think?
It wasn't terrible.
I've I've seen some scenes.
It wasn't terrible. Mike Ryder.
You did great.
My girl was with me. Mike Ryder. We were at the Champ Bash on Sunday, and he was like, "Have you seen it?" And she was like, "No." So he's like, "You need to watch it." So we watched it this weekend. It was cool. It's funny.
I saw some of. I saw a couple of the scenes. I thought you did really good.
Thank you.
The one person that you had to act off of it's a bit of an overactor, but hey, what do I know?
Good.
You did a great job.
Thank
man.
you, sir.
Much more than just a Super Bowl champ.
Well, not even according to Mack.
No, you're nothing compared to him.
Yeah.
But when you're a god, I mean,
Carey, if only you would have won the fantasy football championship this year.
Yeah, that's right.
I could give more than entry level commentation.
Well, no, that's all you know.
Okay.
It's just fantasy football entry level stuff. That's it.
That's why I didn't win.
Correct.
Couldn't get the commentary because I don't know much more than just entry level.
Yeah.
I like to go home and sit down.
Hey, Mac, you're new here. No one's safe, including you and your dumbass takes.
Who said that?
Mac, it's like I insulted someone's dead relative. I said, yeah, you're new here.
Yeah.
Welcome to the fast lane.
There you go.
Now get the fast lane out of here.
Did you have fun? Good. Get out. Cook some dinner.
Go ahead, watch
some TV.
Tell us what he did.
This is the fast lane,
video
Mac.
games.
If you don't like it, you can get the fast lane out.
Mediocre level. Like to read a good
They don't
book.
give a damn about your feelings now that you insulted us.
Probably go to the bathroom for 10 minutes. Scroll on my phone. What?
Yep.
No, we heard it all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dinner.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Sorry, Marsh. Sorry.
He was still going. Telling about his time. So let's be honest.
What?
You grab a quick bite to eat, and then it's typically MLB The Show.
No, that's no. That's later in the evening. That's later in the evening. I sit down, I play at a mediocre level, and typically I play one game. But like last night, I watched more of The Traders. Got my roommate into The Traders. It's a great show. It's a great show. If you like Survivor, you like The Challenge, Big Brother, you like some of these other reality trash TV stars for whatever reason, they're all competing to try and figure out who the traders are. And man, does it just annoy the crap out of me.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing? I would do it so much better. I'm like Mac listening to the
All right, we asked for your mic drops earlier. Who's the Cardinal that you need answers from? We'll take your mic drops. My God, if we don't hear from Mac on this one, what are we doing with our lives? You know what I mean? That's next. Your mic drops here on 101 ESPN.
is Steven Matt's going to make it through spring training and not go on the IL for the rest of the season until the end of September?
All right, that was Jim talking about Steven Matz being the Cardinal, the one Cardinal that he wants basically the answers from. That was the question we posed earlier. Who's the one Cardinals player you need answers from this season? So Jim went with Steven Matz. I don't know if I have.
You feel like you got all the answers out of Steven Matz, don't you?
Like Steven Matz is not a bad pitcher.
No.
That was not a bad signing. Mm-hmm. Outside of the fact that he just can't stay healthy. So I guess in and of itself, that was a bad signing. But I don't think that we don't know who he is. And I'm not, look, Jim, we appreciate the mic drop, so I'm not minimizing what Jim said. I just feel as though that I kind of got the answer there from Steven Matz. He's unlikely to stay healthy.
What if he does? What's his ceiling? Is he a 4, 3?
Yeah.
3?
4.
Okay.
I think they signed him to be a 3 or 4.
Do you think, I know I gave my answer as Jordan Walker. You don't think it's someone in the starting rotation? Steven Matz is a name. Mm-hmm. What about Miles Michaelis?
What about him?
No,
I'm not trying to, wait, I mean, do you, what? For what? What are you asking me? If he has a bounce back season?
Yeah, he needs to have a year. No?
Okay, at best, what is Miles Michaelis then? 4?
Oh, is it 3?
No, oh no. Do you think
best, so? At best.
This version of Miles Michaelis.
Who's the 3? You got Gray, Fetty.
Palante?
You putting him over a healthy,
I'm not talking
well Miles Michaelis?
Okay, let me rephrase. I'm not talking about the Cardinals 3. I'm talking about like universal.
MLB 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know how you have the Dodgers are the exception, and then you have the White Sox who are the other exception. If you just say an average ace, an average 2, 3, 4, 5, I wouldn't say Miles Michaelis even at his best right now is a 3.
Okay.
I think at best he's a 4.
All right.
That's part of the problem, right? Like most of your rotations 4s
part
and
of the
5s.
Cardinals' problem?
Yes. Not your problem, Carey. I know what your problem is.
They got
the Cardinals. You and I got similar problems. But no, I think Miles Michaelis is. What are we hoping for out of him?
Health.
I think
innings.
Yeah. Quality innings.
Quality innings.
All right, let's hear from Jeff. Jeff also left us a Scotty Lee Heating Company mic drop.
Hey guys, love the show.
Thank you.
I'm thinking it's Lars Nootbaar. Can you stay healthy? Can you produce? What can you do for this team in a full season? Can you hit like you did, even just for spurts? Maybe not as pretty as Mark used to be, but spurts like he did in the World Baseball Classic with Team Japan. Can you produce and be our everyday starting outfielder, wherever it may be, or whoever we keep and whoever we trade with Siani and whoever else the hell is out there? But it's Lars Nootbaar for me, hands down.
What did he say? Did you hear that halfway through?
I didn't. I was looking at you. I couldn't.
Can you replay that? I thought I heard something.
The full thing?
Please do. I'll tell you when to cut it off. I just want to make sure I heard Jeff right. Go ahead.
Hey guys, love the show.
Thank you, Jeff.
I'm thinking it's Lars Nootbaar.
I agree.
Can you stay healthy? Can you produce? What can you do for this team in a full season? Can you hit like you did, even just for spurts? Maybe not as pretty as Mark used to be, but spurts.
Cut it off. He said Marp.
Marp.
Yeah,
what do you think he said? Marsh. Oh, come on. I thought he said not as pretty as Marsh used to be. And I was going to say Marsh is pretty right now. Look at him.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So he said Marp.
Marp.
That honestly, that makes way more sense.
I was never in Major League Baseball.
No.
Well,
that's
not
why.
Yet. That's why you're.
Yeah, I'm just going to leave it.
Yeah, let's not. We won't.
We're leaving that in the 4 o'clock.
We won't. Yeah. Mack, if I can help you out, it's your overall arrogance and pretentiousness.
I said leave it.
I was answering his question in a statement. You're being a pretentious Diamondback. If I can help you out. I'm just trying to help you out. Jeff, obviously I agree with you. Nootbaar. That was my guy.
That's what you said.
Yeah.
Can he stay healthy?
Because at one point, you're looking at Lars Nootbaar, and by you, I mean the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
The Cardinals are viewing Lars Nootbaar as somebody that could potentially hit up their order, play damn near every day, consistent, regular. A lot of time, I know Brandon Kiley has shared some of Lars Nootbaar's numbers over the years and how they compare favorably to some of the better hitters. I'm not talking about like Shohei or anything like that, but some of the better hitters in Major League Baseball. But the problem is they don't extrapolate over a full season because he's never healthy.
All right.
So I think for me, it's Lars Nootbaar. And can we eliminate some of the question marks surrounding him? Can he stay? I mean, really, it's can he stay healthy and can he produce?
Yeah, that's
consistently.
That's the main thing right there. Is he able to stay healthy?
All right, let's hear from our guy Swan next. Here's Swan.
I got two. I know it's only one, but I got two. One is Jordan Walker, like CD said, and I'm sure that's going to be the answer for a lot of people, so I won't go into great detail with that because that one's kind of the obvious one. The other one is Lars Nootbaar. Can he finally stay healthy? His peripherals, his MLB Savant page, all the nerd stuff checks out. He should be an elite. He should be a really good player, really, really good. But he doesn't stay healthy, and it prevents him from getting into a groove. Whenever he stays healthy and he gets into a groove, he's a really good baseball player, and I mean really good. But he doesn't stay healthy. Can he finally stay healthy and put together a full? I'm not going to say play every 162, but I don't know, like 145 to 150 games. Can he be somewhere in that area and be a productive ball player?
Seems like Lars Nootbaar is like the common denominator so far with some of the fans.
Well, I think Swan, I had the same take as him. I think if you look at Jordan Walker, like Jordan Walker should be, along with Mason Wynn, your future. Mm-hmm. So you need the question surrounding him whether or not he could be a full-time big leaguer. I think that's probably the layup, right? Mm-hmm. So if you go beyond that, I do think Lars Nootbaar is interesting. AB also brought up an interesting name that we haven't heard. Correct me if I'm wrong. AB says in the snake pit, how about Gorman?
Where is he going to play at, Anthony?
Oh, okay. Here we go. Marsh just gave me the 0-1. Let's hear from Jason next. Maybe he's along the same lines as AB.
Hey, boys. Transplanted Cardinals fan living here in Austin, Texas. So greetings from Austin, Texas.
Thank you,
listen and or watch you guys every single day.
Appreciate you, Jason.
I'm split between two. Jordan Walker, I'm with Carey on that. I need him batting in a decent spot in the lineup every day, playing right field every day. He's got to show that he can do both of those things to stay here and be productive, and I need to see that. And then Nolan Gorman needs to cut his strikeouts down by probably half for my liking. I'm not big on the home run or strikeout trend. So I need both of those guys to show up this year. And my interest has peaked on this team. I'm more interested in this team than I have been in the last couple of years. I'm always interested at the beginning of the season, but my interest has trailed off significantly the last couple seasons as we've gotten to the All-Star break and beyond. Nothing to write home about, so at least we've got some things to watch. Thanks, boys.
Okay, there you go.
Where does Gorman play? Because
yes,
right.
No, I wouldn't put him in right.
Well, no, I'm saying correct. Sorry.
Gotcha. I knew what you meant.
Donovan is playing every day. Mm-hmm. He's earned that right. And we've had a few people talk about Lars Nootbaar. I think the ceiling is high on Lars Nootbaar, but what is he?
Yeah.
Is he able to stay healthy? And thus far in his career, he has not. So if Lars isn't, but I hate the notion, and I think this is what you were saying with the pitching staff, going into a season with the expectation it's okay because somebody will get hurt.
Yeah.
Right? That's not a plan. That's essentially where you are with Nolan Gorman is, that's okay because Lars Nootbaar has shown us that he's probably going to get hurt. We can put Donovan back in left and, Nolan, you can go play second base now. Mm-hmm. That's not a great plan. You got to find a way for these guys to have everyday at-bats, every day, knowing what their role is when they get to the stadium, knowing what they're going to be doing, how they're going to be doing it.
Yeah.
And if you don't know that as a player, you're riding the roller coaster, and that's not a good place to be as a current player.
No.
It's not good. It's not fun to not know if I'm dressing today or if I'm playing left field or second base or I'm all over the place.
Plus, too, I mean, if we just circle back to Nolan Gorman here for a second, are the Cardinals going to allow him to be who he is? Because I've seen some people kind of complain about the strikeouts, which I get. And Carey, I think you've voiced your displeasure a lot with the strikeouts. If he's hitting bottom of your order, though, and he has, if he plays consistently, 30+ home run power, are you okay with the strikeouts, with the offset being the home runs, if he hits low in your order?
No. I want him to, okay. How many home runs? 30? No. 40? Sure.
So he's got to hit 40.
38. 40.
But he's got to play a lot then.
Well, yeah. He's going to strike out a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he hits 8.
Can he hit?
He hits 40 home runs. He's hitting 8.
If he hits 40 home runs, he's not hitting 8. I'll tell you that right now, Anthony.
But if he strikes out, it's on.
Yeah.
If he strikes out, it's on. What I'm saying is, if this is who Gorman is, he is a pure power hitter. But with that power, he's going to strike out a ton. Okay.
So if he's Kyle Schwarber, you're okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Kyle Schwarber leads off at times.
I don't think Gorman would lead off.
Because he's not a shortstop.
He also doesn't play the lineup with Trey Turner and Bryce Harper and the other all-stars that Phillies employ.
With great power.
JT, Real Muto.
Responsibility.
Yeah, this is true. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I would love to see him. I hate it because I hate strikeouts. I hate the fact because it's a moment where it's a big moment. You're going to strike out. You're not going to move runners over. You're not going to get a bat on a ball and be able to do anything that allows your team to have some success, a chance. Mm-hmm. You're going to strike out in that critical moment, and the inning is over. I hate that, but you might be able to pull me to that side if you hit 40 home runs. I might be up to 45 now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why don't we start with 30?
Well, you can't strike out 280 times. How many times did you strike out last year? Was it like 260?
Who's counting?
Everybody.
You don't have those numbers?
Jason, who left us the mic drop, said, yeah, he can't hit below the Mendoza line, which is fair.
That too.
And Jason, by the way, man, appreciate the mic drop. I know you've been frequent in the snake pit. Good to hear you. Good to hear you on the old mic drops. All right, we got one more. Let's hear from Wes.
No one seems to mention it, but I need answers from Brendan Donovan. Yeah, he's had some good years, except his on-base percentage has been declining each year. He also was injured much of 2023. And why do I particularly need answers from him? Well, if there's one player who's already in arbitration, who has shown some health, who we really could feasibly sign to a long-term extension, even though he is 28 years old, so it wouldn't be that long of an extension, I think it'd be Donovan. So I'd like some answers from him, and then I'd like some answers from the front office as to whether they want to actually keep him.
I didn't think we'd hear Brendan Donovan's name today.
I didn't either. I understand where he's coming from, though.
I think Brendan Donovan is who he is.
That's where I'm at.
Like I don't want to bother him. I don't want to talk bad to him. I want you to show up every day and be who you are because I know it's consistent and you're going to show up. And I'm okay with that.
Here's the thing, though. Brendan Donovan profiles like Tommy Edman. The Cardinals had no problem moving Tommy Edman. So if they have another young guy coming up through the system, if Brendan Donovan, shows that he is really good and you could get something for him, or he shows that, maybe he just is what he is, which is still a great player in my opinion. Like maybe for whatever reason they don't want to keep him, because I'm surprised that they didn't give him an extension. Like he's
why? But Marsh, you also thought, why didn't they give him an extension?
I don't know. Oh yeah, I do know, because they don't want to pay him.
There you go.
Brendan Donovan.
That's ridiculous.
They want to save pennies.
Brendan Donovan.
They're pinching pennies.
It's not gonna cost you a lot to pay.
I wouldn't think so either. I really wouldn't. I don't know. Interesting take. I'll give it to Wes. Interesting take. By the way, did anybody get Mo vibes from Wes? Do you think it was Mo?
No. Unless he went in like a time machine or something a little bit like.
That would be interesting, though, if Mo left us a Scott Lee Heating Company mic drop so that he could then use it against a player in arbitration.
What?
Wow.
I don't think it was
Whoa.
He played it in the arbitration.
This was what was said on
This was said.
the fast lane.
This guy West knows what he's talking about. It's actually Mo.
I did get those vibes, though.
A little
bit.
You know what I mean?
A little bit.
Out of all, West was the only one that brought up Brendan Donovan. Again, unique take. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone else was thinking about that.
Yeah.
I definitely would.
You might be onto something, Anthony. You've been on to a lot of things today.
I've had a terrible show. There's no doubt about it. But this, I think this was okay. All right. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Which DC defense coordinator coming up in the Super Bowl has the biggest challenge? You may think it's Vic Fangio having to figure out how to slow down Patrick Mahomes. But what about on the other side with Spags and all of the different ways that the Eagles contest the Chiefs? Ways that Carey is broken down. We'll get into that conversation next on 101 ESPN. Underdog Fantasy is now in Missouri. That's right. You can play Underdog Fantasy, which means you can cash in on all of your hottest takes. So you're somebody that knows a ton about sports, like our listeners here in St. Louis, then you can tab into Underdog Fantasy. You could choose a certain player in any sport, by the way. It's not just football. They've got NBA, they've got NHL, they've got college sports, they have MMA. So if you've got a hunch that a player is going to go higher or lower on his or her stats, you can build your Underdog Fantasy picks and you can cash in big. When it comes to Underdog, it's the best place to cash in with over 5 million happy players and $2 billion won. Underdog makes it fun and easy to cash in on your favorite athletes' performances. Some of the big game players that I like. How do you not love Travis Kelce to go higher on his receptions? He's coming off the down game against the Bills in the AFC Championship game, but still, you know that Travis Kelce is going to be looked at big time. Patrick Mahomes, I like him going higher on his total carries in the Super Bowl after he ran a lot against the Bills. So Underdog Fantasy gives you a lot of different ways to play. All you have to do, download the app, sign up, deposit now with promo code Anthony to get the $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Again, promo code Anthony to get $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. And if you're in Missouri, you'll get an additional $50 in bonus cash when you play your first $5 entry. Again, that promo code is Anthony. Must be 18 or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. $10 deposit minimum. See UnderdogFantasy.com for terms and conditions. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. So one would think that Vic Fangio would have the biggest task as a defensive coordinator in the upcoming Super Bowl because you got to figure out how to slow down Patrick Mahomes. I do actually think there's an other argument here, and it's the one that you constantly have made, Carey, throughout the course of the playoffs, and that if you're trying to defend the Eagles, good luck first and foremost, even if you load the box, to slow down Saquon Barkley. Mm-hmm. You can decide to go with two high safeties, but now you don't have that extra defender to slow down Saquon. If you go one high safety to get that other safety to come down and then give yourself a fighting chance to slow down Saquon Barkley, you have to tackle, obviously. Right. The other thing, if you do that, you've got a lot of space. You better trust your free safety in that regard, because now he's got to cover a lot of ground. If that's not Earl Thomas back there, that's going to be difficult. Plus, the way that the Eagles utilize their blocking scheme, their guards are so good at getting to the second level. I mean, you saw that Rams game. They were constantly washing out the Rams linebackers. Yeah. So if you're undersized, it's going to be a little bit difficult. I think Spags is more than up for the challenge. I mean, he has won, as a DC, he has won massive games, not only against Brady, but obviously all the different various offenses that the Chiefs have faced. So I'd still go with Vic Fangio as the one that's got the bigger challenge coming up. But what about you, Mr. Eagle?
Well, I think there is a challenge on both sides. Obviously, if you're facing one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game, that is a challenge in and of itself, right? You have to game plan. You have to figure out ways to make sure that you limit the opportunities. I said this earlier. If I'm Philadelphia, I'm pushing the pocket. You need to have people in his face, at his feet, so he can't step up. You got to make sure on the outside you don't get greedy and try to take that inner track where you're going inside the tackle, and Patrick Mahomes is able to get outside of the pocket and scramble and keep plays alive with his legs. And so it's just being disciplined. Mm-hmm. Being disciplined, being sound up front, that's what you have to do, and you have to trust your players to do that. And on the other side, I mean, Spags, to me, has done a fantastic job in terms of calling plays. I was showing Marshy, there was a play, probably 2 or 3 plays before that final play of the game where they had a similar formation. The safety looked like it's doing the same thing, but the corner didn't blitz. It was a tight split by the receiver. The corner didn't blitz. And then they came back and ran a similar formation the Buffalo Bills did, and now the corner blitzes. So it kind of lulls you to sleep. I think Spags he's just been hitting the buttons at the right time. I would go into that game understanding that in critical moments, it's probably going to be a blitz and be prepared for that. So if you go with that mindset, it's easier to adjust to it not being a blitz than it is to trying to adjust to it being a blitz or bringing more people than you have to block. That has to be your mindset, and Spags done a great job of it. But for me, I think the job is going to be very difficult for Spags because there are so many weapons and so many different people that can beat you. And Saquon Barkley has been he's not going to win the NFL MVP only because they feel like they have to give it to a quarterback, but he has been the league's MVP this year.
Sure.
He is if he's not MVP, which like I said, he probably won't be, he should definitely be Offensive Player of the Year. So you got to figure out a way to stop those guys, and that's going to be the hard part for Spags if the Eagles go into that game with a mindset, we're going to be prepared for the blitz and we're going to respond to it accordingly.
I will say this though. The thing about the Chiefs is that they don't necessarily play by the rules at times. You know how Rob Gronkowski used to talk about, or he has talked about since retiring. He didn't really know the playbook as much as it was just like, I'm just going to run a route. Right. Tom's going to figure out what I'm doing, and then he's going to throw me the ball. There is some element to that with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce will not only sit down in zones, I mean, he'll break out of concepts to just figure out where the opening is, and Mahomes will find him. That makes it difficult to cover, even though, as Marsh has taken many shots at him for running about 2 miles per hour, or 5.
Oh, just me.
Was it 5?
We're talking about Kelce?
Yeah, 5 miles an hour.
I had him at 5.
Yeah, clocked him at 5.
Yeah.
Even though he's lumbering and, obviously his better years are behind him, the way that he can kind of break out a concept and you think he's supposed to be here because, if you're a defender, you've studied these concepts, these passing concepts. He's not there.
Right.
And that is, a lot of people are like, how does he get that wide open? Because he doesn't necessarily abide by the quote-unquote rules of that offense. And Mahomes is so good at evading pressure and finding him. It's almost like playing backyard football. It's almost playing me in poker when I'm 7-deuce offsuit. I shouldn't be in on the river, and somehow I am, and I hit my card.
You're like, why are you here?
Exactly.
Shouldn't be here. This goes against all rules.
Defenders are like, Kelsey, why are you there? So I'm just saying. I know you don't agree with that, but
right.
I think it's challenging, and it helps explain why Kelsey finds himself open as much as he does.
I think Xavier Worthy had the best game he's had so far as a rookie, Kansas City Chief. I thought he played outstanding in that last game. He made a lot of catches, did a lot of things. I think the Buffalo Bills, I just don't think it's as difficult as teams make it to be to defend the Kansas City Chiefs. Push the pocket. Do not allow him to escape outside. Do not allow him to beat your team around the edge. Be disciplined. That's the most important thing. We talked to Coach Montgomery earlier. Have good habits. Don't have bad habits. Bad habits are when you are lined up against that tackle and you go into the B gap instead of staying outside into the C gap. That's a bad habit, and that will get you beat. Have good habits. Have 4 eyes, preferably on Travis Kelce. You know he's not going to beat you deep, which means you should have somebody underneath and over the top. It's not a difficult recipe. Now you do have to, because Xavier Worthy can fly, Hollywood Brown can run extremely fast as well. You do have to trust your corners to be able to run with those guys. But the running game for Kansas City is not something that you're consistently worried about. You don't stay up at night worrying about Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt. You worry about number 15 beating you, whether he's in the pocket or having an extended period of time, and you got Travis Kelce running. I'm open routes. I'm open. Whatever I'm open. Throw it to me. So that, to me, it's not that difficult. It shouldn't be that difficult to cover as long as you stay disciplined. And the Philadelphia Eagles have to do that this weekend.
That's Carey Davis.
Next weekend.
That's Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter with the Fast Line on 101 ESPN. We have the biggest question of the day next.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues off today, but they'll be back in action on Friday, taking on the Colorado Avalanche, and you can listen to that game right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 7. Puck drop is at 8. Earlier today, the news broke that Brandon Saad will be placed on unconditional waivers on Thursday for the purpose of contract termination. If you missed that conversation, you can always go back to the podcast page, which is brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. But just head to the app, the free 101 ESPN app. That is brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. You can check out the podcast on the app, or you can head to 101ESPN.com. You will see that we talked with Blues head coach Jim Montgomery today, so go check that out. Once again, check out the free 101 ESPN mobile app brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, and just head to that podcast page brought to you by Schaefer Door Company. We have our biggest question of the day coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
Time for the biggest question of the day here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers out. Carey Davis in. Andrew Marsh here. I'm Anthony Stalter. Fire away, Marsh.
I had a hockey question, but we're going to make it a baseball one.
Don't ask us.
So earlier today, and we asked for your mic drops too, who is the one Cardinals player you need answers from this season? So we discussed
like
that.
I told you, Lars Nootbaar.
Anthony, let me finish.
Okay.
Anyways, I lost my train of thought. Damn it! No, I'm kidding. So I'm going to try and change this question a bit, and it might be the same. You might have the same answers. Breakout performance from one of these players on the Cardinals. Who do you think has the most potential to have a breakout season out of all of these young guys?
Breakout season for the Cardinals out of the young guys.
Can I go? Well,
like I said, it could be the same answer.
Going to start. I thought Michael Ciani was a really good player last year. He might be a Gold Glove center fielder. Him or Victor Scott.
I'm gonna phrase it this way: it better be Jordan Walker. It better be Jordan Walker. He at this point, he spent most of 2 years ago at the big league level.
Yeah.
And then there just wasn't enough progress from Walker to have him up for most of last season, right?
I don't think they gave him a chance. They gave him like 6 weeks and then said, get out of here.
Okay, why,
and we watched Nolan Gorman strike out for 3 months.
Sure. Why?
I don't know. That's a good question.
The Cardinals, who are dying, are desperate for a position player to be an absolute stud outside of Mason Wynn. I don't want to overlook his performance, but they're desperate for a young prospect to come up and tear it up as a position player. They're desperate.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, nah, we're going to keep you in the minors for most of last year.
You asking me what the reason was?
Yes.
Can we also say, I don't think he deserved to be at the major league level? He was not good. Can we say that?
That's kind of my point.
Can we say that and in my opinion, again, I don't think you can get much information. Now, he was chasing sliders away, down and away often. It wasn't a good look.
Mm-hmm.
Probably need to work on that. But if you want him to work on that pitch, and he's not going to see that pitch at that level at the minors, then what's the point?
Yeah.
The best pitching you're going to see is here at the big league level. Because if guys can throw that pitch and have success, where are they at? They're at the big league level.
Sure.
So, to me, it felt counterproductive to send him down if the one thing that he's struggling at, he's not going to be able to work on in the minors. And if you're saying, well, you can work on it in practice, well, you can work on it here in practice, can't you? Can't you take extra batting practice and work on that skill set?
Well, this goes to what, Carey, you and I have been talking about, though, in that the Cardinals can't figure out quite what they are. This is what happens when you're still trying to fool the fan base into thinking that you're competing. What are you? They were trying to win games. That's why Jordan Walker was in the minor leagues. It wasn't about the development of Jordan Walker. It was about, we can't keep watching him swing at an 0-2 slider.
I agree.
That was in section 305.
Wasn't good.
Like, we have got to get him figured out. So they're caught in between.
I heard it's a good section. It's cool.
Great section. Great section. The fine folks in 305. Don't get me wrong. But when it comes to Jordan Walker and the I think they got caught in between. But this year, you have signed 0.0 free agents. You invested $0 in free agents. Correct? So what you're saying is, we're going to roll with it and whatever. Let Jordan Walker be who he is. But again, going back to the biggest question here, it better be Jordan Walker.
I can agree with that.
How else you going to we talk about the Blues, right? The Blues aren't good enough. The Blues aren't good enough. The retool, I thought they were further along in the retool. I was wrong. But they got Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway to try to help narrow that gap in between where they are now and where they want to be.
Right.
If you don't have Jordan Walker to go along with Mason Wynn, how are you going to narrow that gap? Because you ain't spending money.
You got to be good with your younger players.
So it's got to be Jordan Walker, in my opinion. Yeah. Waterboy, shout out to the real heroes who have season tickets in section 305. Amen. Absolutely.
It's a great section.
It really is. Yeah. I care about those people.
Yeah. I know you do. You care about everybody.
I really do. Yeah, I really do, Marsh. Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm not joking.
I know you're not. All right, what we learned. What we learned, and 3 stars of the day. Next in the Fast Line on 101 ESPN. missed anything from this Fast Lane show today, feel free to download the app and then download the podcast. The app brought to you by Dow and Auto Centers. The podcast brought to you by Schaefer Door Company. Where were you, Carey?
I'm sorry.
Come on, Carey.
What was that? I was looking at you. I didn't do it either.
Trying to be better.
You know what, though? You know what? Hang on. You did it kind of quick. I'm not going to lie.
That was fast. Quick. Normally, you give me a little leadway.
You got to be prepared, man.
You're right. You're not wrong.
Fourth and something, and Spags is blitzing,
and I wasn't paying attention.
No, you weren't.
Nope. Brought the corner off the edge and didn't pick him up.
I got two guys in my face. Don't make it weird.
My apologies.
Splashback Deuce, by the way, you just made me laugh so hard. Reading some of your comments. All right, what did we learn today? Here's what I learned. There's no Section 305 at Busch Stadium. Thank you to the Snake Pit pointing it out. Well, here's my retort to that. There should be.
It definitely should be.
Every winning club has a Section 305. Please don't look that up. But what I learned was there's no Section 305 at Busch.
I learned that you guys and gals in this Snake Pit and you guys in this room are fantastic people, man.
Yes.
You know, all of you.
Yeah.
Every one of you.
Can I say one thing?
Were
you going to?
No, I was going to keep going. But
no. All right. Hey, to Mack, who fetched one hell of a beating in the Snake Pit today. Welcome.
Now you're here.
It's almost like
it's like an initiation.
Kinda.
Yeah. You were definitely being a Diamondback, and I think you know it, which is why you hung around.
Yeah.
But now that you fetched your beating and you realize that nobody is safe, on behalf of the guys and the Snake Pit, Mack, we hope you're back tomorrow.
I do. Marsh.
I do.
What did you learn, Marsh?
Yeah, what'd you learn, Marsh?
I learned that, man, Anthony does a really good job at biting his tongue.
I didn't.
You really didn't.
I tried to.
None of us did. We are.
You know what I learned? I learned that I severely give in to peer pressure. Like, if somebody's saying something, I just can't help myself. Like, I'm sitting over here like, all right, guys, like, what are we doing? Like, let's stop making fun of Mack, you know? We're not even making fun of him.
No, we were making fun of him.
No.
We were just talking.
We were talking.
Yeah.
But, like, then all of a sudden, like, I find myself inserted into the conversation.
In fairness, Marsh, Mack went hard to the hole.
Yeah.
And we responded. And so did our Snake Pit.
Yeah.
Our Snake Pit's not fast laning around.
No, they're not.
But you know what? We all got better today.
We did.
I mean, not us in hockey talk, which is, I think, Mack's point.
I'm not going to lie. I don't even know how this started. I don't even know how this started. I don't even know what the original comment was.
What I was going to say is I learned that the Blues saved $4.5 million on a cabinet because they usually terminated the contract.
That was such a throwaway comment, too. That's the best part. I'm like, hey, listen, I don't want to completely comment on this until I get all the facts.
That's what started it.
Mack came in hard.
He came in hard as hell.
Like 4 hours later, by the way.
It was 2.5 hours. That was the top of the show, man. Who the hell is... Well, you were listening late. Okay. Yeah, we entertained it. And it made the show great.
Marsh, I'm going to point out one other thing.
Okay.
About you. We all saw Mack's initial comment.
I never saw it.
Well, you felt it.
I did. I felt it.
And I was going to just let it go because I'm like, it's a bit of a Diamondback comment, but I'll let it go. You know. But then I saw his second comment, and I said, "Can I say something?" And Marsh, you knew where I was. You knew where Anthony was coming in. You knew it. I saw it in your face.
Yeah.
And then we lost an hour of the show.
Yeah.
That was a great show.
Or maybe we didn't.
Nah.
Anyways, Marsh, what do we got?
All right, 3 stars of the day. Our third star of the day goes to Jim Montgomery, who joined the show today.
Yeah, Jim was awesome.
Great stuff.
Awesome. Yep.
Great stuff.
And that's not easy to come on when your team's not playing well, and you know it's not,
He
and the
took a
fans
shot
know.
at Jamie, called him Sniffles.
Yep, he did.
That's hilarious.
Absolutely. AB, thank you. By the way, AB, you the man.
Second star of the day goes out to Ranthony.
Oh, man. Ranthony.
He showed up.
He did. It's good to see that guy.
It's great. I feel better, too.
Yeah.
Like Anthony feels better when Ranthony shows up.
Oh, man.
And our first star of the day, he came in hot, and he stuck around. True soldier. We'll see if he's back tomorrow. And that is Mack.
Hey, man. Yeah, buddy. You did it, pal. You did it.
You survived.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. He stuck around, too.
He did.
Nice job. All right. Hey, everybody, in all seriousness, we love you.
Indeed.
We do. We love you. We appreciate you, each and every one of you. Thanks for making the show what it is. We appreciate you. For Sniffles, for Andrew Marsh, for Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. We will see you.